Hello and welcome back to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that's as sweet as soda for breakfast. I am one of your hosts, Brent, Kruscke, the upholder of the unpopular opinion. Joining me today, as always, the ghost host, Jacob Stokes.
Boo!
I've lost everything. The Pop Tab Podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience over on twitch.tv/RealPix. So if you want to be part of that audience and part of the conversation, head on over there to do just that. If not, that's okay. There's a YouTube VOD available on YouTube, which I was a little late with last week. I apologize. I got a little distracted with work stuff. And if not, you don't want to see our faces. You just want to hear it. There is an audio version available on patreon.com/RealPixel as well. We're going to start as we always do with a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to dive in quickly after that because we got a big segment today. Essentially the whole show. But first things first, streams this week. I'm going to be trying to finish up Kingdom Hearts 2 on Thursday. I should only have a little bit left. Hopefully plow right through that and then jump right into Bloodborne. I'm going to try to re-platinum Bloodborne. I'll probably play it, try a lot of the bosses myself. I've already done it, so I might ask for people to hop in, have a little bit more of a communal kind of beating of it. But I'm going to go through it a couple different times and stuff.
Beating.
So
nice.
Yeah. So should be a fun time. Saturday there won't be a stream because we're actually doing a drip stream. And then Sunday there won't be a stream because that'll be my day to kind of prep the house and get ready to pack and all that stuff. Because next weekend, MagicCon Chicago, we're going to be there.
City, here we come.
Yep. So I got a lot of stuff this weekend. So pretty much I got Thursday, Friday, and then if something happens, I might be able to fit on Sunday, but do not plan on it. I probably will not. There's too much stuff to do, and I'm already behind. So that's how it's going to go. Have you watched or played anything meaningful that you want to mention before we get into the big thing?
You want to really get into it, yeah.
Oh, I do, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of conversation.
Well, that's good.
But
did you?
No.
I'll say because I know you busyness over the last couple weeks. You've been like stream stuff. That's it.
Yeah, I haven't actually
stream stuff.
I think I may have watched 2 episodes of One Piece between the last episode and this. That's how busy I've been.
I just wanted to get this crack in.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
So
it's a little late, but I forgot I had a quarter of another. Soda.
Really, the only thing I've watched was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a good watch. And fun trailers. Go Birds.
And,
oh man, yeah.
Other than that, there was something else, and now I can't remember.
That you watched?
Yeah. Oh no, not that I watched. I played the Monster Hunter beta over the weekend.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
That was the one that was off stream. Everything else was on stream, but Monster Hunter beta is what I played off stream. Really liked what I saw from it. Excited to play it when it fully comes out.
After talking about it last week, because I talk about it too often, I'm not even going to say it again. But I started playing Warframe. Just because let me hop in, let me shoot stuff, let me still feel it, let me whatever. And some people that were in that other game.
That other game.
Yeah.
With the Dreadnought.
With the Dreadnought.
Of course.
That game.
We all know.
it. They
Destiny.
They got some Soulframe keys.
Ooh.
Gifted to this guy. Got one gifted to him from a viewer.
Oh, sick.
Because he happened to, I don't know if he got 2 or if he's like, I'm just going to give it to you as like a whatever. But I didn't want to watch too much Soulframe, but I watched enough of it that I was like, I still feel like playing Warframe just to understand what their game flow is like. So I played that a little bit. Downloaded it back and all the stuff on my PlayStation, my Steam Deck, my whatever. But yeah, I tried Sniper Resistance.
Oh, okay.
Or Sniper Elite Resistance, whatever that was. I played a little bit of that one just because it was on Game Pass and I saw that and I was like, I always love a good sniper game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's it. I think I otherwise played some Overwatch because
still kicking. That game's still working.
1 week from now will be the new season. So, and I'm on the last page of the season pass. So I'm like, all right, I gotta just do a couple weeklies and I'll get there. So I'm really close to getting the final skin, getting all the prisms, and all the stuff,
all the things.
But I did watch things.
What we got?
The last thing I had watched before was the Twilight director's commentary. That was fun.
Yep.
Since then, I have watched Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me.
Okay. Now that's the movie that ends the show? No.
It's really interesting because
I'm trying to remember.
I watched it, and the movie is everything that leads up to the very beginning of the show.
Okay, that's what it was.
The whole point of the show is Body washes up on shore. Who is this? Who was she? What was going on? Who killed her? The movie is here's who she was. Here's everything she did. Here's who killed her. Here's it was just like almost like an answer in a movie. So for that reason, it was really interesting because it put a lot of things into context going forward that I was like, oh, it's like I remember on it fondly. But I also had the thought that I was like, man, the show isn't good for its mystery per se. Like the show that is the whole 2 seasons. The mystery is nice, but it's a lot of character stuff and a lot of discovery within each individual person that I was like, I might have actually preferred to watch the movie first. There's no way for me to know now because I've watched it, and I think it makes me want to go back and watch the show with a different eye. It's just too long to do that for my personal taste. But
the whole idea was they never
intended to end it.
They never intended to tell you the answer.
Yeah.
The whole idea was to never have an answer. But
well,
then
I guess that's
somebody's
probably,
like,
the show would end, but there would not be an
there
answer.
would not
I guess
be an
that's the
answer.
best way.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a... I was more thinking the loose ends.
It's
be
so
tied up.
funny because all what the director is
David Lynch.
David Lynch, thank
R.I.P.
you. He was like, I have this idea for the show. I don't ever want to tell who did it. And they're like, okay, make a pilot. Give us who did it in the pilot just in case it fails. There's like a whole story. He's like, all right, fine. The show went well. They cut that ending off, so it wasn't who did it. Then the show could keep going. Then the show was ending. They're like, we kind of need to know who did it. And he's like, well, it can't be the person I did already because that doesn't make sense anymore. And you said I didn't have to anymore, so I don't have another ending. And they're like, yeah, but you kind of have to. And he's like, all right. And that's where like the movie came from. It's like he didn't want to end it.
It does have a weird story to it. Yeah, but it's something also that this lives on its own.
I was going to say.
And I think it's fair to say that if I was a hardcore person, inconsistencies. And, like we talk about, what happened the nights leading up to it and everything. And it was like, I guess this is how I remember it in softer story beats. There was only one thing that was a softer disappointment to it was that it had a recasting of the character that, because, this is Ash Lizzle's favorite movie.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, her favorite movie and subsequently her favorite TV show. She just loves Twin Peaks. So we watched when I told her when I watched the first episode and everything, and she was like, all right, like, who do you think it is now? And she's like, kept doing that as we went through. And I was like, I'm not going to make a guess because I'm going to need like a season of info if there's 2 seasons. And the second season's double the first, practically 3 seasons.
And the first episode's like an hour and a half, right? I feel like the pilot's like a movie.
The first episode of each season is like near 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, the pilot is a movie, essentially.
That's what I thought. I never finished the show.
But... the guess I had was the only character recast in the movie.
Oh, shoot.
And I was like, shit, it can't be her then. Like, it's an unfortunate soft spoiler thing, but it's like when you're playing Guess Who, the first question you ask is boy or girl.
Yeah.
Because it like knocks off, if it's a girl, you just knocked off 3/4 of the board almost, right? And you're like, okay. So I had guessed that it was Donna was my guess. And I was talking to Cody, and we watched the pilot together. And he's like, a month or 2 later, I had already finished the first season. He's like, I wanted to keep going, so I hit play, but it did whatever happened with me and Genlock. It did the same thing where he hit play, and it put him at the last episode. And he said that they must have unveiled it either the episode before or maybe even before that, because it was like, here's how he did it kind of at the beginning, which I never made it that far. I actually stopped watching the show and just put the movie on.
Fair.
Because that's what Ash said I could do. She's like, yeah, you can do this. So he was like, yeah, so when they revealed that this guy did it, it was like, whatever. And I was like, fuck.
It's a
like,
guy.
I know. I was like, you didn't spoil it because I still don't know.
Right.
But you did flip down the wrong half of my Guess Who board. And I was like, I'm an idiot,
Dude, there's been a lot of just like spoilers thrown around recently. Like around us in particular. And I'm like, what is happening?
That one, to be fair, was probably like October.
Oh, yeah.
September,
Yeah.
And again, it was because I didn't feel spoiled where it was like the thing you said or the thing that rather Ben said to you was like, blah, 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 this happens. The thing that happened with Derek is like, oh, fuck, those words. Or you can't unring that. You know?
The other one recently, I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about something, and they were talking about TV shows, and then it just went quiet for a second, and someone just went, spoiler to the Dexter New Blood, like the new season of Dexter, which I never finished. He just like threw the spoiler out just before any conversation. Just went, whoop, here's a spoiler. I went, motherfucker, dude. That's crazy.
Hi, Oki.
Hey, Oki. Thanks for the resub.
I was just talking about you.
It was just like out of nowhere. I went, okay, no lead up, no. And then, of course, later on they go, oh, by the way, spoilers. And I go, that it doesn't work now. I've already got to this part.
It's actually it's funny when
almost
it's
more
for something
insulting.
that's new,
Yeah,
or newer.
which isn't. Yeah, it's not like the newest show. I should have watched it at this point, but at the same time, it's like I'm not listening to a movie or TV show podcast. I'm listening to a podcast about nothing, and they just happen to go, "Oh, by the way, isn't this crazy?" I go, "Son of a bitch!"
That is crazy.
It's like that's so crazy.
Well, I think because Twin Peaks, like all of the things that are like actual clues throughout the show are like there's surrealism to it that I'm like, that's a really, I can see how the line was drawn here, but also that wasn't really like breadcrumbs to get me somewhere,
It's also because like I said, I never finished the show, but from what I remember of the show, everything is like, even if there were clues or ideas of things, I feel like it's like this, and then every time they just go, here's a turn. It's not like, here's a soft curve. Oh, you misunderstood that. It's like, no, here's a hard turn. So I'm like, why would I guess at this point? Because you could turn, and then you'd be like,
and there's something supernatural in the show, though, is another reason that I'm like, oh man, it's going to be hard to guess when someone's having like literal premonitions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, that's tough to guess. Which I don't always watch for the guess or the like. Let me try to figure it out.
Right.
I'm happy to have it be revealed to me. And I think the reveal in this movie, again, added context to the show that I was like, oh, okay, this line I can recall makes sense. This moment, this like where we were thrown off the trail is actually because the trail did go that way, but I thought that was off the trail, So there were some things to it, but this movie was way more surrealist than the show. It was way more like, heady and.
I feel like the Twin Peaks, the first season of Riverdale is just Twin Peaks with sexy people. That's
sure. I believe you.
Less supernatural
who's the
until
FBI
later.
Agent that comes through because he's for me the reason. So the interesting thing about it was, this movie made me realize like, oh man, I really didn't give a fuck about Laura Palmer, the main character who died. Because I'm like, it's all about Dale and it's all like the FBI agent Dale Cooper, and it's also about all of the people that this has affected and all of their interconnections. At least is where I was interested the most. But then I watched this movie and I was like, damn, that was, of course, but that was a whole ass person. And it was like interesting to watch it from her perspective of just like, it ends at where I thought the story actually began. Like that, her story. And it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It reframed it for me in a way that I was like, it just worked. It's one I gave it a heart because I'm like, I could watch it again. I did watch it high, which that was kind of just an accident. I had a buzzin'. Had a buzzin', and we were scrolling through movies, and I was like, "Oh, Fire Walk with Me, let's do that." And I didn't tie. Maybe I shouldn't be high for this, or maybe I should. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end, I was like, "Oh, this is something I'd rewatch."
It's
so
either like, oh, I should have not drank that, or let me crack another one. Let's go.
Ooh, I don't know about another one. Then the next night, Home Alone all day. Finally decided.
You watched Home Alone all day?
All 7 of them. No, but I hadn't ordered a pizza in forever long. From I obviously get Firebird all the time.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, I haven't had a Papa John's pizza. I want something cheesy crust, and I've been stuck at home, and I don't have a car, and I just would love to order pizza and watch a movie. So I watched by myself Carry On.
Carry On.
Carry On.
The
airplane
Taron
movie.
Egerton. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's so good, right?
There were some moments I was like, damn, that's cheesy, but I was also like, but who cares?
Who cares?
The car crash makes everything better.
Yep.
And like I was like, that was really cool.
The car crash was sick.
And also, I was like, this is on Netflix. Like, this shouldn't be a Netflix movie.
I felt like the bad guy comeuppance at the end. I was like, oh wow, that was more intense than I thought this movie was going to give me. That was awesome.
I really liked it.
Yep.
I really liked it.
Tons of fun.
Same night, I watched The Exorcist Believer. Oh, Carry On got my heart, by the way.
The Exorcist Believer is the sequel, right, with the 2? No,
that's The Heretic and then Exorcist 3. This is the first of the new trilogy that is not a trilogy anymore.
Right, with the 2 girls?
Oh, with the 2 girls. I thought you were saying
girls.
is the
No, I'm
2
sorry.
like Exorcist 2.
I'm sorry, with the 2 girls.
Yeah, with the 2 girls. Yeah, that movie, it was just like, I think you had said it, that it has a much better first half than a back half. I think that's how you said it. Does that sound right? Because that movie partway through, I was kind of like, man, I really don't know what I'm watching right now. Like, this is, And also at the end of it, you know, there's always the burden of knowing something's going to be a trilogy. But also at the end of it, I was like, this could be done. That was really interesting. I didn't expect it to have like an ending like that. Because I think David Gordon Green did this one too. I also had the feeling of like this one. He has a certain thing he's trying to say. Yes, it is him with this movie and with Halloween. Like I could feel a connection there from his like, look at how upset this community is getting and how riled up everyone is. I was just like, man, is he like afraid of like a helter skelter kind of thing, or the mob mentality? Maybe is a better way to put it.
Which is very scary.
Yeah, it is one of your great fears.
One of my great fears.
But it's funny because I was like, I don't think, like, Halloween 2 is so strange because it was about misguided mob mentality, which I was like, oh, I thought they'd all be like, because it's a serial killer movie. I just didn't think this is what I would get. And obviously the third one, no one thought we'd get that.
You know.
But The Exorcist Believer, I was like, oh, man. This movie's about like the mob mentality of people trying to figure out where the kids are, but then also are they possessed or so are they not? And then McNeil, what's her first name? The character, the mom.
Yeah.
Her with the cross and the eyeballs and stuff. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like, what? Why is she here? And of course, at the very end, I'm here. I was like, fuck off with this, dude. What are we doing? I really disliked watching this movie, but I was also enjoying that I watched it. You know, I'm glad I'm checking this off the list, and it's all thanks to your Peacock's login.
You're welcome
for that one.
I like the ending with the two girls and literally being like, she's just stuck there now, and like that girl being like essentially like ripped into whatever, like being drugged down, all that stuff was very, very cool.
That was not ideal. That was not ideal for her.
No.
But for me, it was cool that I was like, oh, it's cool that there's two, and I think the trailer did a better job of managing the two, like the drip, drop, and their heartbeats in sync and stuff, and the flashing of lights with the photos, and I was like, it was a cooler movie on like a base level. But it didn't grow from there.
It was like the pitch was a cooler movie than what we actually got. He's like, so imagine this. And we go, that's awesome. And we see it and go, you know what? It was kind of better in your head.
Yeah. And it was so funny because it was like, of course, it's who's the first person to break in the mob is the person who gets punished is the idea, I guess. But I was like, man, I've watched this movie. I think both of these characters, despite where they've come, I guess, you know, Dad 1 and Dad 2, because they both are very different on their importance to the story.
Yeah.
But I'm like, both of these guys would have said, I choose you immediately. You know what I mean? Like, I just, that's how I felt. I was like, I can't believe both of them are withholding. And especially the second guy, they didn't like tease his break at all. It just, it was almost like a jump scare out the door. He's like, I choose you. And I was like, silly. There was also something weird about it being like pigeonholed with the whole, you know, because the beginning of The Exorcist, they're in Iraq for a long time, as you remember. But I was like, is that why we're in Africa? Is just because it didn't actually cause anything. Where the other one, you know, there's an idea that it caused something. And the movie starts with, this movie, the new one, starts with dogs fighting. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it's a cool homage, but when it's exactly literal the same thing, I was like, maybe it's not an homage, maybe it's pastiche, or it's just derivative or something. I was like, okay, we'll see. And I was like, and we're in a foreign country. Like, I think I know where this is going. Right. You know, like it just didn't feel right in the same way. So
I could see that.
Did not get my heart.
Okay.
I watched Companion.
Hey, you made it.
I did make it because I made a stink about it to Shay. But also because we were traveling to go see a friend and met her in film school. So we like going to see movies.
Gotcha. You talked about wanting to watch Companion. People saying it's really good, all stuff. I literally know nothing about this movie.
So you know what's...
Or wait, is this the one where they're at the table? The trailer has the table, and then he walks over, and she's like handcuffed, but
yeah, and she puts her hand on the fire.
I do know this. I know the trailer, but I don't.
That's what I'd seen. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's a major aspect. In fact, I'd say the entire function of the movie is driven by one singular aspect of a character, and it's not shown in the trailer we saw.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of just like, it's weird. It's wet. I like Sophie Thatcher. I like Jack Quaid. I like Lucas Gage, who's the guy who's like giving them the food in that trailer. And then I also just knew Harvey Guillen was in it. From Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows, the show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is great. I like the cast is cool. It's produced by, not directed by, but I think Steve Krager, the guy who did Barbarian. And I was like, cool. I'll go watch it. It's a fun, spooky movie. It's kind of Valentine's-y, and it's like, oh look, it's love, not really. But I didn't know anything. And then on stream, Ash spoiled something about the movie because she saw it before, but she spoiled that major aspect part. And in like a soft comparison at first to another movie, and then like a hard like this is what it is, and we all knew it. And I was like, we all knew it? How? What are you talking about? So I knew this thing.
That thing that you might know might have happened in a second trailer.
So I go downstate, and Mia, who we're visiting, is like, oh, I feel like I've already seen that movie. And I was like, are you sure? Like, what do you, because then she's like, yeah, the trailer just gave everything away. And Shay and I are like, no, the trailer, I like, as someone who now knows, the trailer did not give that away at all. And she goes, yeah, blah, 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 and says it all. And I was like, yes, but Shay didn't know that. And at the end of the movie, Shay goes, it's no reason to be mad, but I am upset that she spoiled the function of that movie. Like, I feel like it would have been fun to like figure it out. And I was like, we both didn't see the trailer, and we both got spoiled on the thing that is like the function of the movie again. And I was like, I feel like I got slighted.
I was going to say,
because again, it was a spoilers thing. But if I had just seen the trailer, which again, rare for me to not see a trailer, but I haven't been to the theater in a couple months since the trailer has come out. And that's the only place I'd see, because it was trailer 2. I'm like, if a trailer 2 comes out, I don't need to watch it.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say,
Superman
I
or
think the
something,
trailer 2 came out. I think I caught it somewhere, it was in front of a movie, and I went, oh, that movie makes more sense now. And also, Jack Quaid and the actress were doing an interview, and they spoiled the death in the interview that I saw. And I went, oh, man, I really have no reason to watch this. I mean, there's trailers. Yeah, like I watched an interview with them on, because it was like, it was something about Jack Quaid talking about The Boys as well or something.
Well,
there was something.
If you watch the trailer opens with the ending spoiler.
Oh.
Verbally told to you.
Okay.
Not shown ever that I can recall.
Okay.
But it is verbalized to you.
But also, like I said, I barely remember this movie, so it's like all those things came in. I went, oh, I just wrote it off mentally.
So afterwards, Shay and I then watched the trailer, and I was like, God, I hate that they do this. Like, I know that there's the stats to show and the whatever, but I'm like, I'm so disappointed to have to be like, this movie would have been better for the sake. Didn't anyone see how Longlegs did? That movie didn't even really have a good mystery to hide, but they hid it really well. They made me think there was something really good there, you know? Or even Barbarian. They showed like the premise kind of, but not the premise if you ended up seeing it.
I did end up seeing it, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't see Mother.
Yeah, there's 2 movies in that movie.
Well, yeah, for sure. There is, for sure. And that's probably what made it feel so unique in a way that's like, okay.
In a weird way, though, I really enjoyed the beginning of that movie way more than I enjoyed the second half.
Justin Long made the second half good for me.
Oh, well, Justin Long, hilarious, fun to watch.
Dude, when he opens up the door and there's the chained up bed with all the blood, he goes, oh my God. And it just cuts to him with a tape measure.
Yeah.
How much square footage can you give for that? I was like, I fucking love this movie. And he's going down the stairs.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
like the thing.
great.
It was funny, but it, like the first half of that movie being the awkward, untrustworthy back and forth, I was like, oh, I like being in this. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's
And then
was
it
a cool
changes, and I
writing
went,
sort of trope,
oh, this is different.
Well, to speak on Companion, not in I had it ruined by somebody else watching the trailer and somebody else watching the movie, which is still, again, to the like, why are we just, talking about it? But I thought I was going to go in and dislike the movie.
Okay.
Because of reviews I'd heard from some people. Just in particular.
Some people.
No. It was more so that it was like, I'm hearing 5s and I'm hearing 2s out of 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing those, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a big gap. That's not like, oh, if someone gives it a 5, someone gives it a 3. It's like, oh, it just didn't hit you. But like 2 is like, no, it's now being detracted. It's no longer middle of the road. It's like tilted to being bad. Turns out she had her reasons why to dislike it, but I was happily surprised.
Based on Brent's cup, I can see he visited Nirvana today. I visited Wendy's.
We're gonna get to that. I think you had something to say. You said
there is another story. I made sure of it.
Well, I thought Companion was funny. I thought it all worked. I think it has a very one of those moments that's like third act cheesiness is the only reason this movie ends the way it does. Otherwise, it's like over.
Yeah.
I also dislike it had much like a lot of movies today. It had a naturally lit third act, which is all in darkness. And I was like, man, we're losing colors, we're losing lighting, we're losing, like, I can't see as well. It's not bad, but it's not good. But otherwise, I really enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
It was fun to piece together. And even knowing the spoiler of it, because you get to see the, like, crumbs get dropped, you're like, that's funnier than it should be right now. Not on a second watch. I'm in a second watch of this moment, right? So I would recommend it. It got my heart.
Okay.
Final movie I watched, I actually rented it, was Heretic.
Oh, that's the one with the maze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, at least not in the way that you had thought at all. No supernatural. No.
Really? Okay,
what was
cool.
because there was he's looking over the maze and you see the girl as a little person running through the maze. That was just a visual
thing? Okay.
Yeah, I told you that when we watched it. I was like, I think that's just a camera like joke.
Makes it more
It's
interesting.
like a metaphor or something rather than something literal. like a borrower is running through the thing, you know. The movie has to deal with philosophy, theology, whatever, and it's very talky.
Okay.
But it's just talking about something I cared about, so I just really liked it. And Hugh Grant is fucking amazing in it. And I was like, I understand that I'm supposed to not like you because apparently you're like a real piece of shit. But damn, you're fucking good at your job. And I was like, and so are the two girls in the movie too. I mean, Topher Grace shows up for a second.
Awesome.
Because he's like, you know,
God, I still need to see Flight Plan.
it was just so funny. I was like, why Topher Grace? Why is he here? Like, it's so you hire the actor that's like, I know your name. Like, I think of you as you before I think of you as a character. Like, I don't get lost in you as easy because of like a Morgan Freeman or now a Mark Wahlberg to bring it to Flight Plan. I'm like, or Flight Risk.
Flight Risk.
Yeah, Flight Plan's another great movie. Peter Sarsgaard. Not a Skarsgård. The Sarsgaard.
Yes. Flight Risk.
But anyway, you did this last week too.
Yep. Once I see it, I'll probably get locked
Heretic
in.
got my heart, and the first half through, I was like, I really love this movie. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it ends in a decent place too. That I was like, oh, it kind of went all the way through. I'd happily watch this one again, but it just critical thinking. The movie is kind of the idea that it's just like a debate between religions back and forth. One guy's trying to pitch one thing while they're trying to pitch the other thing is like the overall idea. And just the whole movie being like, who do I believe in? What do I believe in? Why do I believe in? When is she going to believe what he believes or vice versa? And like the fact that I just didn't know where it was going still was really interesting.
Very cool.
So, it came together for me.
Very nice.
That was all my movies.
That was all your movies?
That's what, 2, 4, 5 for a week? That's not bad.
That's great. Believe me, I wish I could have watched anything. I mean, I made sure the Super Bowl, but I was like, that all last week was just like Control-Alt-Delete for like time. Outside of this normal things I do.
Yeah, I think for me, because I didn't have a game I was eager to play or whatever, and like I said, for one of those days I was just home alone, I was like, let me throw on 2 movies. But
makes sense.
I don't know. I think it's maybe just a New Year thing. I'm always like, let me put more movies on by the New Year.
Well, I was really
I'm always,
excited
like, ready to catch up or whatever.
Play Remnant on stream with Alec. Like I was excited to get back to that game. So that was my excitement for the weekend. We played a lot of it and beat it.
Oh, nice.
Finished this story. So it was crazy because we were playing it. It's a hard game. We were playing, and we felt great, all that stuff. We got to the final boss, and it was like we went from like a 8 difficulty to an 11 in one jump. And I went, holy crap. So then we went and did a bunch of extra stuff. We found some extra bosses to level and upgrade guns, because Alec was switching guns, and you can dismantle and then re-upgrade guns, but you lose in the transaction. So like I'm doing shots of like 140 damage and he's doing shots of like 60. And it's like, we need to do more damage because we can't, because essentially the boss at the end has like 2 phases. But when you're in the second phase, there's like a digital corruption and it flips between the 2 dimensions and phases. So you'll be fighting and all of a sudden, and you're back in time almost, fighting the first phase. And then it'll jump forward. But you don't jump forward and the character or the monster's in a completely different position. And it picks up where it left off the last time you were in that dimension. So you have to, if it's coming down for a swing and then it jumps dimensions, when you jump back, you have to know if you were being targeted or not at that point because it's going to be right there and you have to dodge. It was a lot.
Weird.
But it was really cool once we were properly level and fought it. It was a really cool, interesting fight. And it was very much like people in chat were talking about how it felt like watching a raid where I was like, oh, there's balls. There's this. We got a target.
Like
we're doing all that stuff. So it was really fun.
Balls.
Yeah. Balls were awful. It would be like, look away, you're shooting. All of a sudden 6 balls come out of nowhere and just kill you. And you went, oh, shit, where were they? They weren't even on screen. So.
Do you think that this week you're going to, because this is the week of Valentine's Day, do you think you're going to go see Captain America?
I think if I were to go see a movie this week, my number 1 would be Hard Eyes.
I also want to see.
I'd rather see that before Captain America.
I pitched Shay on it pretty hard, and she's like, and I was like, Josh Rubin directed. She goes, all right, I'm in.
But as a curveball, Friday, Valentine's Day.
Yep, we did it last year. You remember?
Yeah,
I forgot what we went and saw, but we saw something together on Valentine's Day. I was like, this is weird.
But you know what's happening on Valentine's Day this year?
Ooh.
If you don't know right after, you won't know.
No.
The Eagles Super Bowl parade is on Friday.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if we want to be Valentine's, go hit up Philadelphia. I'm just saying.
Up the city of Philadelphia.
Just hang out, dude. Just go hang out. Okay, whatever. Whatever. You don't get your Valentine then.
That's fine.
But maybe we can go see a movie.
There we go. I'll still get mine in the end.
Well, maybe I'll go see a movie. And I'll just text you, hey, this empty seat right here next to me. That could have been you.
It could have been me.
You let me down.
I won't get the text because my phone will be off because I'll be in the movie.
That was okay. All right, before we get into what we're doing today, I guess I'll go through the Wendy's thing.
I got to know.
So I went to Wendy's to pick up a drink. Not today. This was separate.
I know. At least you told me about it yesterday. You're like, oh, there's something about Wendy's. I'm going to bring it up.
A different Wendy's. Wendy's? The same Wendy's, a different trip to Wendy's. I went to go get my drink, and there was a line of people. And I went, oh, I could have another moment like this. And then I was like, oh, no. And the anxiety started hitting me, and I was like, well, I can't have another moment like that because everyone on the podcast thought it was super dumb. And now everyone in this room is going to know it's super dumb because they're aware of it, obviously. And I was like, shoot, no, I'll be fine. I can pull back. Oh, wait,
I can send through.
Hold on. I'm going to get up there. Do I have enough money on my card to like pay for the drink? Yeah, I totally have enough money. I planned to come get the drink. Oh, wait, no. I don't know. How much money do I have in my account? Oh my God, I got so many bills to pay. Anxiety. And then I got to the point where I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Why do I still have bills? Maybe I should stop doing what I'm doing. Maybe I should go get a second job. And it was just like, boop, 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 and it just built up
Why do I have bills?
It just built up to an extreme level to the point where at the end I was just like, I'm going to die. And it doesn't matter.
Oh, good. I was like, that calms my anxiety.
Well, I was like, I'm going to die and it doesn't matter. Nothing I do matters. Why am I even getting a drink? I could just stop existing right now. I don't think it matters. And so I got my drink and then I went in my car and I was like, I guess I'm going home now.
That is the opposite of Zen.
Yeah.
I would say.
So that was my Wendy's trip. But the drinks are still good because it's got pellet ice. And I really needed it this morning because I got up super early to go to the gym because I had a haircut appointment at 9, drove to the haircut appointment. It was a little early because I'm always early. And I was like, let me grab a drink from McDonald's real quick to get me a little more awake because I'm pretty tired. I got up super early. Got my soda, got in the car, took a sip of it. I was like, this isn't Coke Zero. It tastes like root beer or tastes bad. Okay, well, that soda's dead to me. And I went to go get my haircut. Nope, didn't get my haircut. She's like, oh, I thought I was free. I'm not free. I'm not.
So what's so funny is you said that, and I just did like a scalp inspection, and I was like, must have just been like a soft trim.
And
I didn't see it.
And she was like, oh, No, I thought I was free at 9. I'm not. You free at noon? I'm like, no, I got a podcast. Okay, I could do 3. So I've got a haircut at 3 today. And I went, I got up super early for absolutely nothing.
Well,
so then I got this soda to help me out.
Cody's on the right track. I think we could say we could shame you harder for the nihilism in Wendy's than Bliss. Like Bliss was down here, but nihilism's lower. So maybe we can shame you back out. Because
here's the thing, the Bliss was new to me and exciting that I could find that. Nihilism, that's every day, baby. That's my running speed. That's my average pace. There ain't no shaming out of that. That's just how I exist.
I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, so Wendy's still good for their pellet ice. We'll circle back around to absurdism next week. Absurdism. Nah, I don't think I'll find myself there. I don't think I'm very absurd.
You don't think so?
No,
well,
maybe.
It's not
I don't
that
know.
you're absurd. It's that existence is absurd.
No, because I don't think
some people are using this absurdism as a coping mechanism recently.
Yeah,
Look how absurd it all is. Look how wacky, goofy.
There was a. I mean, I truncated a lot of my nihilism because there was a lot of like of the world right now. Oh my God, climate change. Oh,
sure.
At least I'm trying to make little steps here. The little steps I do mean nothing. This planet's burned. I don't know. I'll probably see it burn in my lifetime.
Our bones
then
will
that
get
led
eaten
to
by
the
the
death.
sun.
So
yeah,
like it all led into a thing. But
that's great.
So
that's great. I'm so happy to hear that for you.
Yep. There was a moment too. I was just like, you know what? I think Stokes would be proud of me in this moment because I went back to the status quo, and I was like, now
the status quo. Me, Mr. Status Quo.
Well, because then I stopped and I went, no, because he just doesn't care. He's not bothered by this. He's not bothered about me being one way or the other. It's not going to affect him anyway. So, no, I don't think he would be proud. So that was another.
You take my what was the word we use? Not my. I don't care, but
you were not bothered.
Bothered.
Yeah.
Yes. You take my unbothered and you read that as he doesn't care about me. I'm like so unbothered by you that I just don't care.
Yeah.
Stop.
There's a layer.
Look at me. Look what we're doing right now.
Well, yeah, because this is fun. I feel like
but we could do this standing over there. We do it almost every day.
We could.
I'm doing this because you want to do this, and I care for you, and I care for what you want to do, and helping where I can.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe
I was
unbothered to be on a podcast. I'm like, this doesn't bother me at all.
Maybe I was in a deep enough hole where I got lost. The walls got really tall real fast.
Yeah. Just think back to that custom Halo rug I got you, dude. They're like,
that's true.
Like, did Bethany get you that?
No.
Bethany get you anything that cool?
I mean, she'd get me stuff, and I don't want to belittle her gifts. So I feel like that would be rude. But
she's working. She's working right now.
Thanks,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's not listening. She doesn't listen to this.
She's not going to come back to this.
But no, I thought because I was actually got the rug out because I was rearranging stuff. I got the new shelves or whatever. I was going to put it up, and I was just like, well, rearranging this.
What did you just say?
The rug. I was thinking about hanging on the wall.
I was like, you said you're going to put the rug up.
Well, here's what happens. If I put it on the ground, Ash is going to scratch at it, or it's going to get salt on it, or he's going to vomit, or it's going to get bad on the floor. So I was going to hang it up because it's like an art piece almost. But then I was like, well, rearranging the store, maybe I'll put it like above my monitors in here.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Because we got tall walls, so we got more space than I have at my house. And it's a pretty big rug.
If you want it up, put it up. You don't have to put it down. But I will tell you that I you know me. If I get the Funko Pop, I'm pulling it out the box. I like to use my things. Mm-hmm. I'd use your rug. Like I'd step on it. I
had a Funko Pop in my hand for you today, and I went like, because I was like,
really?
Well, because I was like, I like to grab stuff that makes me think of you, like the sweatshirt and stuff.
Was this at a Wendy's or was this at the barber?
I went to Meijer after my haircut, after my bad shitty morning.
Before Wendy's.
Before Wendy's, I put in Bullet for My Valentine, listened to some really angry music for a little bit, and then I switched over to Atmosphere for some chill vibes and walked around Meijer.
Man, you were really trying to like science your vibes today.
Yep. So walking around Meijer, I found a Funko Pop, and I almost grabbed it for him. I was like, you know what? I know he doesn't like Funko Pops. Like, it's like a thing that you don't like and you don't really care about. So I was like, no, I won't. But it was a little chunky Gengar. And I was like, this guy's really cool.
Oh,
but
cute.
I was like,
That's
it's a
cute.
Funko Pop. Maybe if it was just like a different type of thing that wasn't Funko.
Yeah, just a little plastic guy. Just a normal.
Because then I also thought you got one over there. And I was like, he's already got a little plastic Gengar. I don't know if I need to get him another plastic Gengar.
And you were there when I bought another one.
Yeah.
Because that one was the one that was 3D printed in the like metallic purple. So interesting story on that. I have the Xenomorph and Gengar over there in that purple. Justin made me the Xenomorph, and he made Derek the Gengar.
Oh.
And Derek ended up leaving it here because he not because he was confused or anything, but I think Derek was confused to the point of like, why? Like, I don't fuck with Gengar at all.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
And it's in purple. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
You think
like,
he walked in with 2 presents for you and went, oh, Derek's here. Maybe I should.
No.
Oh,
he gave
separate instances?
separate week.
Oh, okay.
Separate
Never
week.
mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I have the Gengar now, but I have one of the it's
The
Bandai one.
The Bandai
Bandai
yeah,
like
yeah.
Fit Snap one. So I have that at my house too. So they're like 1-to-1, like shape size.
But I literally had it in my hand. I thought about it. I was like, no, I know he doesn't like Funko Pops, so I put it back.
Yeah, something about their beady eyes, the style of them. It's like I love miniatures, minifigures, obviously, Gundams and all that stuff, action figures, all that.
And I think the Gengar was a little pudgy, and he's got a smile, but he didn't look like his like
Gengar,
manic self. You know,
when we do drip streams, you can put those animations. The Gengar eyes, it's just 2 eyes and a smile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know Gengar, but if they change that formula at all and just put him in the purple body, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, but yeah. Anyway, we've got to
look at that. Look at all that care we have.
We're about 47 minutes in. Let's dive in. We're gonna if you haven't heard anybody out there that's got their head in the sand, Magic the Gathering, I would say, is 90% of our workday all the time.
Yes.
For a long time, we've softly criticized the fact that Magic, although killing it TCG world, has really fallen short in other aspects of
every other aspect.
Yeah, every other aspect.
Their cons are cool.
Cons, like Gathering, but it's still always centered around the card game. They haven't branched out they did books, I guess, but like there's so much lore and different things in there.
Now. Yeah, I didn't get any of them.
So, but they recently announced that they were going to start doing a Magic Cinematic Universe, an MCU, if it were.
The MTG MCU.
Yeah. So
MTGCU.
Which is, I think, fun and exciting. I don't have the highest hopes for it, but I think it could be fun.
Me neither, because they're going to be doing, as they said, movies and TV shows.
Which I think isn't a terrible idea if you have like a finite thing. But Magic isn't finite. It's so expansive. Because like, what's his face? Flanagan has talked about doing the Dark Tower as like movie, TV show. But like the Dark Tower is a beginning and an end. And it's like, here's what we would do. Here's the plan of the next 4 years or whatever. Magic could be like, we could keep doing TV shows and movies for the next 50 years. Like there's just so much there. So that's a little too big.
Yeah, especially because it is going to be live action. I bet you they're going to mix in something animated in there, but because of that, it's like, well, people age and die, and change and grow out of contracts and all that stuff. That nothing is forever, and not that we need this to be forever, but they're going to want it to be forever.
Yes,
they're going to have the gas pedal down for the next 20 years, the best they can. So
good Aether Drift tie-in.
Fuck. Anyway,
we decided today we wanted to go ahead and fan cast the movie because, we're a podcast that talks about movies, and I feel like that's mandatory.
It only makes sense.
And we do a lot of Magic stuff. So luckily, though, we did go through, and we wanted to make sure that anyone who doesn't know the characters of Magic, because even though I'm not very versed in them, we pulled up pictures of characters. So when we're talking about casting and stuff like that, you can at least have an idea.
And we also don't
know
if any of these characters are going to be
in
the movie or shows or whatever.
I think there was 12 characters you sent me. Would you say it's maybe like the top 12 characters you could think of off the top of your head? Not like if you were to dive into the lore, be like, this is an important character to lore because of blank, blank, blank. These are like, if you asked Magic people, they might go, I'm going to name off 4 names. The 4 names are on this list probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think there was a piece of me that I was like, there's so many every Magic set has a story, whether it's a book or a comic book or a webtoon or something they release that is story. I chose the ones that I'm like, this is probably one of their like larger stories without being their biggest, without being whatever, where it's like people kind of assumed this was like pinnacle Magic.
Yeah. It's
also got the Brothers War like backstory lore that is prequel, but also now it's like canonized fully.
Right.
So I tried pulling those kinds of things where I'm like, I think if there were main characters, this is the Spider-Man to Marvel, I think this is like, how could you not have Jace?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just particular characters. We'll get the image up soon. How could you not have Chandra, who's featured now and has been featured since they had Planeswalkers?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I also tried representing each color the best I could.
Very nice.
And then I was like, if there was a Thanos, who's the because there's Thanos, there's Galactus, there's Death, whatever, the Watchers. Who's the first one? Who's the Galactus? So, or the Thanos.
Yes.
So I got that character. Nicol Bolas.
James says, so we get to see SpongeBob fighting Transformers while teamed up with Eleven from Stranger Things. James, you got to give him time. It took a while for Marvel to get into the what if. You got to give Magic time to get into universes beyond. But it could happen. It probably will.
You never
happen.
know.
One
you
day.
never know.
Stokes said we have Chandra.
We have the photos.
Yep.
To show the characters. Would you say 12?
I think there was 12 when I counted.
Yeah, I just made the list. I didn't even count. I was like, I think this is good. I think it's not too much, not too
When
little.
I had to make sure I had pictures of all the ones you sent me, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, okay, I've got the same amount, and I just double checked them.
Good. But the other thing is, I've actively tried to disregard any thoughts in my mind that come up of who would I cast. So I'm really coming to this as fresh as I can.
Yep.
With no preconceived ideas, except for one, because we talked about doing a fan cast for this episode. And then I hop onto Blue Sky, and the second Blue Sky message I see is from the professor calling for someone to play a certain character that is on this list. So
cool.
I can't get that out of my head now.
Yeah. So first things first, we have Chandra. Chandra. It's like a SH. Chandra, right? Chandra. Tell me a little bit about Chandra. This is very overarching.
The first characters we're going to go
all.
through represent their mono color as well.
Gotcha.
Mono red.
Mono
as you
red.
can assume by the fire. So there's a sort of chaos to it. I also later I have her mentor because I'm like, well, if you get a Chandra, maybe you'll get a Jaya. So she, as one of the original Planeswalkers, was featured in multiple planes of the game. So she's kind of a traveler in that way. There's some cards like Cathartic Reunion and whatever that are about her like re-meeting people. So there's like a sort of, she has like a breaking and come together and a break and a come together. But I think where she's at now in the story and the direction they're trying to go, like think of Liliana. We'll get there. But Liliana, villain, necromancer, dark, spooky, scary, death, mono black, raising zombies. Now she's a hero.
Oh, well, of course.
She makes a heroic choice years, but like before I ever played. Before I ever played Magic. But now she's like literally saving parts of like universes or planes.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at a popular, good hero character that is fire, that is chaos. Some of the cards that she has featured, Chandra's Ignition. There's ones that are just like
straight out the kitchen. Go ahead.
You telling me Mama's rolling that body? She got every man in your wishing. Anyway, she has cards that are essentially you take a character and take their damage and deal it to everyone else on the board. So she has like moments of lack of self-control, explosions.
Gotcha.
That
okay,
burn and kill. All of her Planeswalker abilities are all about making red mana and like temporary, the ones that fade away, or pinging and dealing burn damage to things.
I think some of my choices that come into my head, I'm also thinking of like, well, this movie is not going to happen for 5 years. Who's young enough now that in 5 years there'll be a time where they can grow with the series?
Sure.
I
think there's
some
a
of
fairness to that. But it's funny. I can't not see Kate Blanchett in her because of fucking Borderlands. And I'm like, that was the worst decision ever. She's a great actress. What a terrible Lilith she was.
Yeah. But
I can't not because I'm like, it's the redhead, it's the this, it's the that.
So do you have any jumping to mind right now?
So what I did, I pulled up IMDb's top 100 because I also think that's something of, they'd be like, looking at number one, Vanessa Kirby's hot right now. And I don't mean sexually.
Right.
I also don't mean like fire, but
she's top billing right now.
Top of IMDb right now. Let's get a big name. We need someone who's going to push this. And I think because Chandra is one of those through characters that is like pushed heavy. I think that if there were a Kate Blanchett to this cast, I think it would probably go here or Liliana for a female role.
Gotcha.
So that's where I was looking, but I don't have one.
I think my first, and actually,
it's hard to pull off the red hair like that. That's the tough part.
The image here actually helped me because her face is not weird by any means, but slightly unique. And for me, what actually came to mind first was Daphne Keene, who played X-23.
Oh.
Explosive,
I knew
got
Daphne
the
Keene for
anger,
sure.
got the little bit
I also
of
see
stuff.
where you're like, oh, young, like she'll grow into it.
I think she'll grow into it. The other one I had, I think because the red hair immediately like hit me and a little bit of attitude, a little explosive, was it Sadie Sink from Stranger Things?
Stranger Things, yeah.
Those two were the
Max-
first two that
Max
came
from
to
Stranger
my
Things.
mind. Sadie might be mostly because of the red hair, which might be a little bit typecasting. If I go red hair, but
Yeah.
she's got the attitude. She's like tough. She can portray
It's
that
funny
in a way
'cause
that I think could work.
It's tough to measure like the age of her because because part of the story for Borderlands where I think Kate Blanchett didn't work was because it was all about losing her mother, who should have died in birth anyway because she's being a siren,
Right.
of course. But
We all know this.
all the same. We'll know in Borderlands 2. We'll know
Yeah.
when we play that. But it's interesting because I'm like, man, you're giving mommy problems to someone whose mother could just have died of old age, like based on her age.
She could be a grandmother.
Kate Blanchett probably is a grand. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of an interesting thing to put mommy issues. I understand that those things persist, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So
James coming in with Karen Gillan. She did a lot of action. Nebula. That could be good.
that's a good one, James.
That's where you're going.
See, that's the age I'm thinking too.
Right, 100%. If that movie came out tomorrow, I think she's good. But like I said,
I think she's got 5
5
years,
years?
to, of course, to then start filming, to then have another 5 years. But
we're thinking 10 years. We're thinking Marvel size this universe, right? So I'm thinking, is she playing Chandra in 20 years?
see, the name I'm thinking the type of name I'm thinking.
Okay.
Then where they're like, we'll put her in a wig, well, whatever. I also think that there's something, maybe not so much to Chandra, maybe Liliana, but magic has seemed to grow into more of like, we need to get the gooners.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this character can be all about a certain morality and a certain thematic something, but also it's like, let's get a little juice on the screen is what they'd be saying.
Yeah, let's get a little Sydney Sweeney in there somewhere.
Sydney Sweeney is what.
Is that what you did? Look at that.
So I was thinking they might look at her and be like, we could put Sydney in this role the same way they're like, fucking put her Madam Web, fucking put her in.
She's got glasses. She's a nerd.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly. Yeah, like look at this classic nerd here.
What a nerd, dude.
So I could see them going that way.
Okay.
Another one I thought you might have to see her photo, but Julia Gardner. I could see her doing it.
What has she done?
You'll have to fucking kill me.
That's her?
In Ozark, yeah.
Wow, she looks so much more normal there than she does in that show.
She plays a
Yeah,
Ozark,
I know, but
backcountry, whatever.
but wow.
But recently she was in Wolfman.
Oh yeah.
She also is. I think she's like the voice of something in a new Marvel movie, if that's right.
Holding.
Oh no, she's the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four, the one coming out.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah, so I was like, I know she has like a role that I was like, oh, that's like big.
She's probably just voicing. Silver Surfer is probably going to be all.
Yeah, but she might have
CG,
done
right?
all the mocap and all the stuff
Totally,
too. That they're like,
yeah,
it's really her, you know. But
I feel like.
yeah,
I feel like even with the mocap.
Are we going to come on a singular settled list for this?
Well,
or
I
are we
guess
just almost like throwing it out there?
Because
I'm like, we're going to have to get moving. We got a lot of characters.
We got a lot of characters to get through. So I was thinking maybe we do like a. We can have either a finite, like a definitive list for the show.
Maybe
I
can write laterally here our ideas, and we can cut it as we're like Sydney would work well with this person. Or
Yeah.
You know.
So I would put down Karen Gillan,
Huge.
Daphne Keene.
That was a great call.
And what was the
Sydney Sweeney or Julia Gardner?
I think Julia Gardner was probably your best. If you were like, these are the choices you gave me, I would choose that one from you.
Yeah. All right,
Cool.
I don't know who's next.
Next.
This is interesting.
Boop.
Oh, of course, Liliana.
Liliana. Unfortunately, her picture got a little cut off at the top, but
Now I'm thinking because we came, I'm coming right off of Companion, and also off of Heretic.
okay.
I'm thinking Sophie Thatcher.
All right. I'm gonna look her up.
I got
gotta
you.
see.
I already have IMDb pulled up.
I was gonna say I have to
purpose.
see A lot of actors, actresses, I got to see their face unless it's like somebody I've seen a million times.
I can't think of something else you've seen her in. So she's got a very unique look. She's also young enough. There she is. She's the robot and companion. So I think there's I could see an evil in here. You know,
it's a robot.
I've never seen. Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
So anyway,
I am become my worst enemy.
Ignore that. I should have said anything.
Unless you watched the trailer.
Yeah. I see.
Well,
for me,
anyway.
I look at Liliana. I thought older. I was going older with it.
It's tough though.
Yeah.
Because I think is the first movie she's a soft villain. Like the movie is kind of a 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, whatever.
Okay.
And she's part of the bad guy crew.
Right.
Because she is the one who she turns good. Like actually right here is the card, the Oath of Liliana, where she decides to join the Gatewatch, which is like Overwatch. It's like, oh, we're all the good guys coming together, or whatever. She's the one who does it to save Gideon, I believe. I think she ends up falling in love with the guy who represents like Mono White.
I thought Gideon died like a million years ago.
Right here.
Oh.
Right here, Gideon dies.
It was a year. Okay.
So she turns and like joins the good side, and she ends up sealing away Emrakul into the moon. If I remember, it could have been Tamio, but I think it was like they're joined.
It was funny because
I could be off on so much of this, but I do know that she's good now. She's hero path.
I was going through your list, and in my head, I was like, oh, what about like all the Emrakul, the giant Eldridge yada yadas? And I went, well, I guess we don't really cast those, do we?
Yeah, like, you don't really.
Doesn't really matter
No
what
voice,
those cast is. Yeah,
there's no voice to.
And even if there is, that's not. Like, it could be anybody, honestly.
Yeah, that's where you pick someone for their voice, which I think we have. There's a couple of characters I didn't put on the list because I was like, they're like voice only.
Yeah, James said Emma Corrin,
Emma
which
Corrin?
I believe is the chick from Deadpool
Emma
that
Corrin?
Hokie brought up. Or is that a different one?
Oh yeah, he just answered with
Yeah,
Emma
yeah,
Corrin,
I think that's
chick from
that's,
Deadpool.
I was following the list.
She does have the sharp features because she was also in Nosferatu recently. She played Princess Di in The Crown. She's a great actress, but I don't know. I don't know where
I'm trying to like look away and like look and see who do I see. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. I don't really have anyone. It's funny because I feel like this role is the role that I would see somebody be in. I'd be like, oh, she looks right, and then the role would happen. I'd be like, wow, she's awesome. What else has she been in? Because like it's like not a no name, but it's someone that just has flown by me, and I'm like, oh, she was in this. Oh, that was her in this. That was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that. So I'm trying to think of somebody.
Well, it's funny because there's a piece of me that's like, do I want to cast as if someone who like just looks at the list and goes like, we need the big name, we need the star power, so let's just get this star power in here,
right?
Or I think this person would serve the character the best. But here, you're looking for someone to fill the shoes of the I forget what you called her, some like generic brunette or something.
Yeah.
But Margaret Qualley, I think, has the stuff right now, coming off of the substance, coming off of the whatever, being like. Whatever, because this is a Gooner casting.
I think it's too late now, but the first one that comes to my mind, because I watch her all the time, but I watch old movies, Rachel Weisz came to mind.
It's too late.
It's too late now, but that was the first. When I look away and look back, I'm like, that's who I see because I see her in The Mummy.
That is so funny. That'd be a good cast. 15 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I think that's going to be my problem. Is I don't really know a lot of young actors or actresses unless they are Tom Holland and Zendaya. Like if they're like AAA, everything's
but not everybody can be a AAA in this here movie. So
or it's going to be somebody from a CW show. Those are my two options.
Ooh, I thinking young actresses, think whatever. I do like Haley Steinfeld.
Ooh, what is
Hawkeye?
Yep.
Is a major one. Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Was another one she was in. She's getting in the new movie Sinners.
Yep.
She got that coming. First kind of like longer form thing.
Pitch Perfect, of course.
Pitch Perfect. She plays Gwen Stacy in Spider-Verse, but her longer form thing, she did the whole Dickinson, where she plays Emily Dickinson TV show for Apple TV.
Gotcha.
So she's proven herself.
All right.
But also she's a musician. Oh, Arcane. She played Vi in Arcane. So like she's got all the right talents. I think maybe we could. She's also got I think we could dark and spooky her up a little easier.
Yeah, I think
than
so.
like a Vanessa Kirby who's on the top right now.
Yeah, I say I'll put her in the list.
Haley Steinfeld.
Put Haley Steinfeld in the list, and like you said, we got some names to get through, so we can always return.
If I remember, I think Mrs. Hokey loves Haley Steinfeld. That might not be true, but that's how I remember it.
So next we have Nissa, right? Yep.
Also, dude, you're getting all the Oath of Gatewatch thing. This card is called Oath of Nissa.
It was
crazy.
A lot of them where I was like,
didn't
oh,
get
that's the same
Chandra's
one.
oath,
That's the
huh?
same one. That's the same one. But then some of them,
I don't know if she
I
has
had to
one.
change a Johnny's later on because you see it's cutting off the top of her head.
Yeah.
The Johnny one, like cut off like mid nose. I don't know why the formatting of the picture was weird. Oh yeah.
You usually got it, dude.
Same.
Everyone's fucking oathing it out.
Let's see. I feel like she's got.
So-
I feel very
We need
soft spoken from her.
soft-spoken, sharper feature.
Yep.
I mean,
Reserved.
all of
I
these.
would say.
I say all of these characters, kind of period, have softer sharper features.
Yeah, totally.
But
You gotta have that jawline.
This is the nature. You found her in the woods. Mm-hmm. Kind of gal. You know who did really well with the druid in Dungeons and Dragons was Sophia Lillis.
Oh.
Sophia Lillis could be good. She could probably be a good Chandra.
I was
too.
going to say Chandra because I
the
think
red hair.
Well, not even the red hair. I feel like
shorter
because she
hair from
because she
Doran was
turned into
great.
like animals and stuff, and she had like the explosive, I'm ready to kick butt mentality.
Yeah.
Where I feel like this is going to kick butt, but she's going to be quieter about it. She's going to be softer. Very. I'm thinking Mantis.
Palm Clementif.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. So I just realized that I think I'd like her in here somewhere. Jessica Henwick.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen her, but she was in Iron Fist, as which terrible show.
Yeah.
But she was great, and she sold the kung fu real well. So I was thinking like, okay, I could see her out in the woods. You know what I mean? But I'm like, maybe she could be a good Chandra too. It's always tough because I think Chandra would be the kind of face of the momentum of the team.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. They would be around the table, be like, "What are we going to do?" And she's over there, like flipping a fireball around her fingers or whatever. No, what?
This is for you. Underwater. She plays.
She's
she's the girlfriend to the
survives?
mechanic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's fine. I didn't remember her surviving per se, but yeah, she does. She does survive. Yeah, she's great.
She is really good.
She's great. Anyway, back to Nissa.
I was gonna say. I say.
Sophia Lillis.
Yep. And you said Palm. Is that how you pronounce it?
Palm Clementif. Yeah,
I think
POM. Yeah.
Put those two names down. I think.
I think Palm needs to be almost somewhere else because she's like too unique.
I think she's too unique for. Well, I see like the eyes glowing, the face paint, the elf ears. Like it'll almost be like here's like the visual difference between her and like the very human looking like characters. Oh,
There she was right there with Karen Gillan.
what a weird profile picture for her.
Yeah, for real. Her holding the statue.
Yeah, like all like.
I could see her being friends with a bear.
Yeah, exactly.
She's Nissa, I guess. She's like all elemental and land focused.
She's got the floating islands from Pandora behind her.
I'll put Palm. That's good. Clementif, I think. Okay. Who we got next?
Next. Sorry, the monitors are backwards, so I just didn't fix it, so I kind of go backwards.
Jace. We've got Jace here.
Well, that didn't work. That's interesting.
We'll skip Jace. Go next.
Okay, we'll come back for Jace.
Ah.
The Thanos.
Nicol Bolas, our Thanos.
Put down Jack Black. Move on. No.
Yeah. Have you seen all of those memes?
Yes.
That was all for Magic. It was just I am Jace.
Jace.
And then I saw one. It was like, oh, dude, the new Gundam movie was cast, and it's I am Char Aznable, and it's him in front of the military. I was like, God, this meme is infiltrating everything.
It's everything, dude.
I am Steve.
So
I can't wait to see that.
I mean,
movie.
Nicol Bolas obviously is gonna be a voice.
A voice. Yeah, and it's tough to not think because this is one where, unlike Thanos, there's not a humanoid in here.
There's not a
So
human.
the only
anything.
man who could play a dragon as well as I know is
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch, great choice. I think also another choice because he doesn't have to do the mocap. Obviously, Benedict Cumberbatch did. You don't have to. And also, this dragon moves like a human.
He's bipedal. Yeah.
I'm thinking like a Jeremy Irons would be a really good voice.
Oh, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
That's almost like too. I don't know. Maybe he is noble. I've never heard him speak, obviously, so I don't know.
Oh, Nicole Bolt. I was like, you haven't heard Jeremy Irons speak?
Oh my god! No,
Did you watch a movie?
Watch a movie.
Yeah,
I've seen The Lion King.
that's fair, I guess.
But it's like there's almost a royalty to his because he has the accent. Mm-hmm. That I'm like, is this guy royalty? So
what's why in my head I was thinking Scar.
So here we're gonna have to go next one if the next one's another dragon.
Yep.
Because these guys here are yin and yang.
Gotcha.
Nice, I have that version of the card. This is the spirit dragon, the good dragon to the bad dragon. So this is where it's like, okay, we have to be casting with a yang in mind of the yin.
Okay.
You know? So when we're thinking of Nicol Bolas, we also have to be thinking of Ugin.
Okay.
In some capacity.
I wish there was a way I could pop them like both up next to each other, but
we're on one
so
at a
bad
time.
dragon,
Yep.
good dragon.
They're both Jack Black.
They're both Jack Black. Hoagie says, I've got it.
He's got it. He's just got to look up names.
If he types
Key and Peele.
I was gonna say if he types
Harold
Jack
and Kumar,
Black,
he just starts naming characters.
Oh, interesting. Because I'm thinking like if you're thinking
Is Key and Peele interesting?
no.
Okay, good.
You said what did you say after that? Oh my god.
This is Starsky and Hutch.
Nope.
Tango and Cash.
Nope. You said something right after that. Oh my god, it's blanking on me. But anyway, I'm thinking because in my head they're both a royalty, right? But one is like an evil dictator ruler, and one is a calm, collected,
self-sacrificial.
Yes.
He has access to a plane where Nicol Bolas has no power, but in order for Nicol Bolas to remain there, Ugin has to stay there. So he just self-exiled himself into like eternity to be like, I'm gone forever.
Wow.
So he's also very self-sacrificial. I said Harold and Kumar, by the way.
Harold and Kumar.
I didn't get back to that.
Does Ugin? I guess it depends on the art or whatever. Is he supposed to have feathered wings? Because that's a really unique thing for like a dragon type character. The big thing they fucked up in the Aragon movie was that in Aragon the movie he's supposed they talk about Saphira's wings being that like transparent skin whatever, but in the movie she has feathered wings and it's just ridiculous.
This is his OG art, his like creation.
Okay.
Actually,
So
from Khan's. Funny enough,
Gotcha.
This is Fate Reforged, but it's a Khan's block, the first of it. So yeah,
Fuck it,
looks
throw
like
Ralph in there for the bad dragon. Giggity.
Giggity. I think you meant Ralph Ineson. Is that who you're talking about?
Because in my head I thought Ralph
Ralph
Fiennes, and I was like, that's a good one, right?
Oh. No, probably Ralph Ineson.
Wouldn't be able to hear a thing he's saying.
Yeah, Ralph Ineson. He's got the big gravelly. He's playing Galactus.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
in
he's,
my head, I read Ralph, and I was like,
Witch.
Ralph Fiennes. I was like, oh, okay. I see what you're doing, Hokie. And then he ended with Giggity, and I was like, there's a joke here I'm missing.
It's funny because it's not actually a joke. It's what came to my mind, but I'm like, it's just because it's Galactus.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm like, well, I also thought of Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
That's not helping anybody. Yeah, I think it's hard to say, but I just know that somewhere where Henry Cavill has to be in here.
Oh, I have Henry Cavill, I think.
Oh,
I think
you
I
do?
know who Henry
All right,
Cavill should be.
You keep thinking. I got to pee real quick.
Okay. Let me look up a quick name, I think. You know, Charles Dance might actually be a great idea for Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, if you want your main character, his actor, to die in 6 months. Dude, that guy's on the brink. How old is that guy?
Let's find out. He was born in 1946.
Nice. An actual boomer.
But I mean, how long does Nicol Bolas have to last, right? I guess Thanos took 10 years.
Well, I don't know. Movies and shows are always strange, but
Yeah.
Thanos took 10 years. Yeah,
But
exactly.
but in my head, I was thinking
just record it all up front.
for Ugin, I was thinking maybe like a Donnie Yen.
Because of the flow,
Yes.
because of the calm.
The calm, the flow, the sacrificial nature. I feel like he like embodies
What
that.
about the Liam Neeson, the like Aslan kind of
Liam
vibe?
Neeson could work. Liam Neeson, okay.
I'm thinking like an Aslan. You
Yeah,
know? There's
yeah.
like a strength in his
Yeah.
sacrifice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also, this card's fucking busted. this character is insane. He's got some wicked expensive cards.
Do you remember in
It's like a
Lion, Witch, and the
250
Wardrobe,
record.
Santa showed up with guns and gave them to children? That was a thing. It's crazy.
No, I don't. But that's
Yeah.
okay.
It was in
That's
the book,
fine.
not in the movie. They didn't do it in the movie, oddly enough. They didn't go, here, Santa, how about you bring these kids guns? But I'm pretty sure it was in the book. Maybe it wasn't a Lion. It was one of the Narnias.
Oh, Bill Nye.
Bill Nye and others, yeah.
That's interesting.
Davy Jones.
Because there is a sort of ancientness to them, so I can see someone wanting a voice like that.
Well, we completely forgot. If we're thinking voices, there's only one actor that gives it all for the voices. Vin Diesel.
He gives it all.
He gives it all. Like stands on the stilts. He gives multiple readings of 2 words. Like he really brings it.
What a guy.
So Ugin's Vin Diesel. Nicol Bolas is The Rock.
The Rock. He's cutting promos from the top of the Citadel.
AI voice is a thing now. They don't need to live through the whole thing. Damn, James. Just being like, we'll just
Kill
steal
him.
this
Nah,
voice.
just kill him.
He's dead. I should have read that when we were talking about whatever we were talking about when he typed should have.
Anyway, so did you come up with a name? I do. The Donnie Yen isn't a bad idea, but to picture these guys as brothers and having like a
They're
big,
brothers?
angry British men. I think they are.
That's a new tidbit of information possibly to me. I did not know that. I was thinking polar. In my head, this is what I thought. I was like,
yeah,
here
it's
is
the twin brother of Nicol Bolas.
okay. Because in my head, I'm
Child
thinking
to the Arcades Sabbath.
there's a king ruler, England, evil, bad, sun never sets on the English, that whole like ruling. And then in my head, I was thinking like emperor, maybe because I played a lot of Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm thinking the emperor from Mulan. I'm thinking he's got a very like soft-spoken nature, ready to sacrifice himself for the good of his nation, stuff like that. So that's why I had those 2 things. Twin brothers, okay, that changes things a little bit.
Because maybe you have the same character play both.
Oh.
The same actor, I should say.
Same actor. Interesting. That would be kind of cool.
Have the Sinners, the Tom Hardy, I forget his movie was called. You get the we'll get the cannibal back. Army Hammer.
Army Hammer.
The Social Network.
Yeah. Let's see. Bill Skarsgård has some range in his voice.
Bill Skarsgård came into my mind when I was in the bathroom. Well, then we could just get another Skarsgård.
Get 2 Skarsgårds, but if Bill
and then you can be like, oh, you can tell there's like something to their language here that's
Bill Skarsgård voicing a dragon of this like stature and scale, it's just is so
You didn't watch
interesting to me.
Nosferatu, but
I did not.
You've heard his voice probably on TikTok and stuff, like people making fun of it.
No.
Well, it was some like train with an opera singer to hit like a lower register of voices. Like I can't even go as low as it is.
Okay.
It's deep.
Oh, because in my head I thought of Pennywise's voice, and then I just pictured
Georgie.
I pictured Nicol Bolas
Yeah, exactly.
and his eyes just like going out of whack, and I went, I guess.
Drooling.
And then in my head I was like, nah, he's done other things, and I thought of The Crow, and I went, he's done other things. I was just like, man, I really need to find a range for Bill. So maybe it's that I'm just missing that Nosferatu connection there.
Yeah, obviously it's heavily accented because he's like a Hungarian royalty in
Right.
that one, but he's got the range for it. I think you could probably
There is a range there because
you could do
in
two
The Crow he
Skarsgårds.
played Machine Gun Kelly. So that's a pretty big range for that actor to pull off.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That's true.
Okay. Where are you leaning on these 2?
I don't know.
I really like Jeremy Irons as a choice because, one, we know he plays a good bad guy. He's got the regal nature to him. I think he could really bring it. I don't know Ugin as like a softer version of. I don't think he could do the both.
I'm gonna do Liam Neeson for Ugin,
Liam Neeson. Okay.
and then we can do Jeremy Irons.
Ooh, what about what's his face?
Love him.
Yep. He's a big actor, and I should know his name right off the top of my head. But he played the dude in Black Adam. Oh my God.
The dude in Black.
the helmet, your fighter in Injustice.
Oh, he played Dr. Fate. Pierce
Dr.
Brosnan.
Fate, Pierce Brosnan. That's a voice that we could get some
Your dude in
Ugin.
Injustice, who literally doesn't use his fist.
In my
at
head,
all.
I'm thinking Ugin. Pierce Brosnan, I'm thinking for Ugin. That could be a
You're
cool.
so funny, dude. For Ugin?
Yeah. Mostly because of the Dr. Fate. He's got that reserve, that timbre, that like, but
I'm into it.
still powerful.
He is.
You know what I mean? And Ugin's still powerful, even though
he's
going
the
to
only one who can stop his brother because he's so powerful.
Right. There's a lot of brothers fighting in Magic. There's a whole thing, the Brothers War.
Yeah, there's like two sets of brothers I can think of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's just like, you know, if I had a nickel for every time two brothers fought in Magic, I'd have two nickels. But which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it happened twice.
All right, well, we got it. Jeremy Irons and Pierce Brosnan.
There we go. Where's my mouse? There it is.
Hasbro, I hope you're watching and taking notes. All right, speaking of brothers.
Yep, two more brothers. All right, Mishra was actually way later because this picture got fucked up. But
okay, so this was the one that the Professor fan cast as he wants Ian McShane, which I was like, that works for me. Because the type of fighting he does is like, you know, he's fighting with what we call the Karnstrucks in the back, artifacts that become stronger in a team.
Right.
So that he's like an inventor first, an artificer, chief artificer as he's known. And the brother he fights also fights using essentially robots, but more like tied into the body, become one kind of robots, rather versus autonomous.
Is there a good and bad between these two?
It's a little bit grayer, but he's the good one.
Because I feel like if there is a grayness to it, I feel like Ian McShane is a good choice.
That's part of it. Is like that's
the
why
gray
I'm like, damn,
kind of works. Yeah,
he works in the gray.
That is pretty good. I'm trying to run through my head of anyone else. Unfortunately, he's on the older side. This character, and a lot of
depending on where we start, because
I guess
the earliest we see Urza now, the youngest we see him is probably like 15, maybe.
Oh, 15?
Maybe.
So Tom Holland.
We also see him in, I'll say, 30. And
well,
then we also see him at like 50.
He's got to play the range.
We see him through. Tom Holland can play 50 as well as he can play 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him enough time, he can do it.
Yeah, he can get the well. Yeah, give him enough time, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm saying Patrick Stewart. Not Patrick Stewart. Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. I like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm like. Patrick Wilson, I think, the way he pulled off the Ed Warren.
Yeah.
And that's a retro old versus like a physical old. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I could see it.
And we know for if, you know, there's the time period when he's in his 30s and he's probably jacked because it's a Magic card. We know he can get there. And he looks great.
We know he can get there, which he always wears these like heavy garments, so it'd be easy for him to not have to get there. But I also think that there's something cool about it where Patrick Wilson, when I think of him, in Insidious, he plays a character who gets like corrupted and it kills somebody and it's bad, but it's not his fault. Any of the possession stuff related to that. But then there's also like hard candy where it's like, is he the bad guy? Isn't he the bad guy? I think, and then obviously the bad guy in Aquaman, you're just like, this guy's got the range. He can play all over. So I think he has a good guy face. Mm-hmm. So when he's the good guy, but then you're like, oh, you sacrificed a lot of shit to win this war. Like, you're actually not the best ever. It'd be, like, not surprising to this guy, you know?
And he could pull off the long hair, as we know from Phantom. So,
yeah.
It just makes sense.
I could see him with all of this.
Patrick Wilson.
I'm putting Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, put it down. No, I'm going to jump.
You're going to go to
I'm going to go
Mishra?
backwards because I think he was the last one.
He is.
Damn. It also didn't work? I double-checked these, too.
That's fine.
Damn.
We'll just keep going forward.
Okay. We got Jace.
This is Teferi.
That's what I meant.
I knew that. I was like, do we?
I knew that too, and the blue tricked me.
So we've got Teferi. His card title is Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. He's probably our most like, I don't want to say important hero, but he's the one who like saves everyone's shit multiple times.
Okay.
An interesting plot point for this guy is he can't stay in one spot.
Okay.
He has to keep moving. So, and something had happened with his family. There's like a lot of family cards related to him where he was forced to leave and he can't, no, not that family, like his wife and children, whatever. But he is now like, he's stuck having to move through time as well as planes. So he a man with no home. You're thinking nomadic, you know. Where do you go for this? Do you have one?
I go, yeah.
God, that's good.
that was my first thought in my head.
I'm just gonna write it. Oh, how do you spell that?
It's like, I think it's YAYAH, or there's an H in the middle.
You saw how I put it.
Yeah, I think there's one H, but I don't know which name.
But I want to find it before I confirm. That was a fucking. That was strong.
Hokey says Jesse Eisenberg. I love Jesse Eisenberg.
Stop, dude.
He's amazing. I think this might be the wrong role for him.
That's crazy. All right, I put an extra H in there.
There's an H in the middle. I thought it was at the end, so we would have both been wrong, just differently.
Boom. Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Teferi. Probably the easiest casting we'll have all day.
It's so good.
I wasn't expecting it. It really came out of nowhere for me. I had minimal thoughts. I was kind of like, well, his name's like Jean-Pierre something. He was in Bridgerton, and he's Zank, I think his name is, in Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Gotcha.
He's like the paladin. He was awesome.
He was really good.
And I'm thinking young. I'm thinking moving forward. I'm thinking whatever. But I'm like, dude, a man who's had some troubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, like the way he's walking, like the
stature,
the confidence, the size. It feels like especially if he's like a hero, and we're trying to like look up. You know, I think. Oh man.
Yeah, but I think he's someone who he's like stuck being the savior. You know what I mean? That's where I think
tormented being the savior.
Yeah, it's just like, man, I just want you to go home to your kids. Is what I feel for Yahya.
But he just can't.
That's a great call. That was a great call. Now this one was interesting because this one I think was the most like off of, I don't want to say off brand, but he's just not as involved anymore in the things. And he's like, a lot of his story happens in Innistrad and Eldraine, which are places that are like so thematic. I don't know if they'll go there. And if they do, it might be like, here's the one-off show. Here's Garrick's show.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really go. He doesn't have the Nicol Bolas fight. He's not involved in anything interplanar now. He wasn't there for the Phyrexians. He's just, when I think of the planeswalkers and the characters that represent green, there's one other one called Vivian that is she was key in finding the Phyrexians when they were individually hidden all over the plains.
Okay.
If you remember this in the game, it was like there was one in Kaldheim.
Yeah.
Then there was a Jin-Gitaxias in Kamigawa. Then it was like, what are we all doing? The card that they had printed for Vivian was Vivian on the hunt. She was hunting them down. But Vivian and Nissa are both like nature, beast caller, tamer. They're like so samey without, from what I know, having any relation to each other. Not
gotcha. Not familiar or
familial. Not like that relationship. But it's like I can't picture them interacting on any plane. Like I don't know a set where there's both of them or anything. Whereas Nissa, she's part of Zendikar, which is what gets fucked up by the Eldrazi. She has an oath. She's still around in all forms. She lost her spark, but she's still a main character. Like she's in Aether Drift. You know, I'm like, these are characters that they view as mattering. But Garrick, I was like, there isn't anyone else that looks like this.
Yeah.
And if they were to do a spin-off show for Innistrad, they could highlight other planeswalkers that exist there, but they all turn into werewolves or they're all like super stuck.
Right.
Whereas he's a good guy, but his name is Garrick Cursed Huntsman because he's literally cursed and goes from mono green to Golgari. So he's got like a villain arc, and then he becomes, he flips into like Garrick the Redeemed.
Gotcha.
So like there's like an arc there, right? And I think a Johnny has the same thing, but he's white, and his is part of the bigger Phyrexian story and stuff. We'll get to him, but that's why I chose him. I also thought it'd be good just to have one absolute fucking monster on set. You know what I mean?
James says Carl Urban, which I think is a good choice. Carl Urban is great.
Dude, I was wondering where we put Ben Affleck. I'm not gonna lie. After we talked, I was like, maybe he's to Patrick Wilson. He's my Mishra.
Okay,
we'll get there.
This was my Henry Cavill pick.
What was it?
Because in my head, he even took Superman, who's really the clean cut, perfect everything, and he's like, let me put a beard on him. Let me have a hairy chest. Let me have that like manly thing with him.
Yeah.
This guy screams that like I'm
What
dirty
about-
all the time.
There's a
I like
he
it.
did that with Geralt.
Yeah. And you had the Wolverine quick snapshot.
But I think
and
there's
stuff,
something
like,
he's gonna be busy.
that's what I'm saying because
You know
this
what I mean?
guy's a smaller part.
A smaller part.
Because he's going to
I
be
was
busy
thinking-
with a Warcraft.
I was thinking Alan Richardson.
See, I was thinking that for Gideon.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Henry Cavill needs. If we're gonna say, oh, he's free to do a role, Gideon he's the role that people will be like, oh fuck, this guy's really important because he's like wicked important,
Right.
but he dies,
Gotcha.
and that would be like, I didn't expect Henry Cavill to die in this movie, and when we see Haley Steinfeld change her entire moral compass for this man, we go, well, of course. It's Henry.
That's fair.
I'd be like, I would change my life for that too. I would resurrect his
We
ass,
I'm
you know?
also thinking, if I'm thinking Liliana Haley Steinfeld, I'm like, oh, maybe we probably should go younger for Gideon.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't see Haley Steinfeld and Henry Cavill being love interests in a movie.
Well, then maybe, because not everyone loves him. We can put a mask on him. Oh no, I'm still thinking Gideon now. That's why I was like,
Oh,
wait,
okay.
I was like, no, I still don't see it, but we're thinking Gideon. Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
We'll get
You
there.
see a Super Bowl commercial?
Yes. What was it though?
Like the
Oh, he was like,
Goldilocks.
yes, I was like, he was driving something. Yeah. It's my story.
My
Uncle
story.
Glenn.
Yeah.
That was cute as hell.
Carl Urban is a good choice. When I
he's
look
got
at
that
this
grit.
picture, it's the size that I go, that's Henry Cavill.
You're like, that's a big.
who else is
well,
gonna?
That's why, and I go, who's bigger than that? Alan Richardson.
That's true. And who's bigger than that? The guy they got for season 3 of Reacher, who's apparently like 6 or 7 inches taller than Alan Richardson, just
yeah.
massive. He dwarfs the mountain from Game of Thrones. He's just a big guy. He's so big.
I gotta start looking at some kung fu movies here for a second. I'm forgetting this guy's name.
But anyway, if you want someone to get in that costume and wear it thin because he's so big, he's rubbing it raw, that's Henry Cavill.
Nathan Jones. There we go. Nathan Jones, that's a big motherfucker right there. And he's a gay. He's the kind of actor that'd be like, put a mask on him.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine
You
because
know what I mean? Because and it's like he's also got something so recognizable about his like bald head to it that it's like, this guy's obviously got some hair, some long whatever, but he could rock like a Tyler Mane with the saber tooth wig. You know what I mean? We could do a wig on Nathan Jones.
I guess,
but Nathan Jones, he's working in big stuff and he's a stunt guy.
Yeah.
So he would keep the size and keep the authenticity to it.
Thinking about it now that I'm guessing his mask is always on,
Never off.
never off. I guess that would be a waste of Henry Cavill if we're not seeing that beautiful face.
That's what I'm saying. Gideon.
That's
dude.
fair. That's fair. Carl Urban may be a great choice because he pulled it off in Dread. Never taking off the mask.
He
and
was
looking-
good. He was. I mean, he's good in everything.
But
really,
if we're using this guy so small, or he's just a small piece of the puzzle, and he's got to have the size, Nathan Jones.
I like Nathan.
Nathan
Jones.
Jones.
I like Nathan Jones for it.
Yep.
Nathan Jones.
Okay.
All right. Who's next?
Man, I tested all these two. We've had 2 failed ones.
What were those other 2? I'm typing them down.
Okay. This one is.
The repercussion. That's Jaya.
There you go.
Yep.
And
Elspeth. Oh, dude, Elspeth.
God, these pictures
Shit,
work,
dude.
dude.
Haley Steinfeld would be a fucking good Elspeth.
I wonder if I can pull. I wonder if I take it out of slideshow, I can show them.
Maybe.
But anyway, we got
All right,
Soren.
Soren. So Henry Cavill. Only because have you seen another Soren card? Period. Like,
Oh, I think I've seen a lot of. He's in that Anguish on Making, right?
yeah. I mean, he's in that one. But like, who do we see here?
I mean, that card looks like it was drawn. They looked at Henry Cavill. They're like, "We'll just draw."
Well, I know, but
him as Soren.
who else are we seeing here? We seeing because it's reflected here, so it's also for the viewers. You know, they can see it too. But I feel like I'm seeing somebody else in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it though? Oh, what about his name's Madden? Something Madden. Hold on. I got it. Richard Madden.
Oh yeah, I can see
Richard
that face.
Madden. Robb Stark, the King of the North from Game of Thrones. He's also in the Eternals.
Yep.
He's also in a TV show. I think that was called The
Soren's
Bodyguard.
a vampire, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a vampire.
it's Jared Leto. It's Morbin time, baby.
No. What?
Come on, dude.
Fucking Jesus.
He already showed us that he could do it once.
This other guy, Thomas Doherty, was the other one I'm thinking. He's got the same kind of look, but there's something with those eyes, you know what I mean? But he's got that same kind of jaw structure.
Yeah.
Where if you told me Thomas Doherty and what was his other Madden's name? Richard Madden?
Yeah.
Richard Madden, that they're brothers.
Let's see. Hold on. What's the fucking...
Ooh, I'm hearing it from Hokie. In this image, he sees Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Soren is supposed to be like the hot young blood, though.
Yeah.
That's if he has a future in the thing, he ends up getting married and whatever. I don't think we're seeing him in the best light here. This is his first card ever, so they hadn't quite decided on the art for him. But he's the young buck.
Tom Cruise has been a vampire too.
The Brad Pitt.
See, I was thinking in my head, I went vampires again. I was like, oh, Colin Farrell.
It's a hot vampire.
That was a hot
It's a
vampire.
hot vampire.
But then I also thought, I was like, who's just like, we're trying to get hot, long hair, hot. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Ooh.
He's got those features.
I don't know if I
that
like him
voice.
for this one.
No, okay.
But Aaron Taylor Johnson's a good call.
Right.
That's a good call. What would you put him in, though?
I don't know.
Everyone, I think, like, if I'm like, okay, well, if Richard Madden isn't him, I'm like, hey, he could be Gideon too.
Right?
Henry Cavill could be Gideon too.
You mean the generic white soldier hero guy?
Yeah, but it's somebody who, like, is also ready to die, though. Like, someone who's going to have a hearty death to us, but not be one that's like, oh, he's not in the sequel?
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't come back.
He don't make it.
Gideon's dead. Gideon's dead.
Oh, I feel like what's his face? Timothy Chalamet?
He said, I was going to say, what about Tom Hiddleston?
Ooh, Tom Hiddleston.
What about Loki?
That could
What
be a
about Loki,
vampire.
Soren?
Yeah, with the long hair.
He's also, he'd be giving us a little bit of the Asterion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Of like, oh, sexy, sharp British man.
Right. I've completely blanked what I was looking up now. Shoot. Oh, well. Tom Hiddleston's good. I like that.
I think for sake of time, I'm going to do Tom Hiddleston. And
Tom Hiddleston?
Keep moving.
Okay.
A Johnny.
A Johnny.
Now, obviously, we're doing, I think, maybe a voice here.
Oh, I think it's practical.
Good.
I think we do go
Good.
old school Planet of
Proper
the
furry.
Apes. Yeah.
Yeah. Who you throwing in that?
Well, if he's got to be that big, it's going to be Alan Richardson. That's
Or
a
gluing
big
fur
line,
to
dude.
his actual arms.
Yeah.
No, get what's Lou Ferrigno doing?
Whoa! So this is an interesting one because I feel like you could, I don't know, because
Now, we're fan casting.
Yeah.
We don't have to, this isn't, we're not trying to be real about it.
Okay.
It's got to be Toby Kebbell.
Interesting. Okay. Because you're thinking voice. Okay.
Because I'm thinking he's managed a body like this before.
That's fair.
And you love his performance. He's great.
He's very good. That is true.
Toby Kebbell is fantastic.
And now a Johnny is like all white, all good until he's not, right?
All white, all good. But if we're ordering the stories, they did it once already for us. The Phyrexians were the first threat the game ever had. That's what Urza and Mishra fought about.
Oh, before Nico Bolas and all that?
Yeah.
So this is like pre-pre?
Yeah. So this
Okay.
is, and the war wasn't over ever. It was the longest running thing. It was like if you know the name Gix or the term Praetor or anything. All of those were printed on cards in like the first 10 sets of the game.
Oh.
But it didn't have a resolution, and it was all in the past. And it was Mishra was trying to use Phyrexian tech to that was like the cyborg. We're all going to become one robot family is kind of the thing.
Okay.
And then the Praetors, they did exist early on with the Scars of Mirrodin, where Infect was around. All of that was there. Nicol Bolas wasn't created until the Khans block, which he might have existed in Nicol Bolas, like as a name, existed. I should say.
I think my favorite thing is you keep pointing at the timeline over there that
I know,
no longer
that- I know.
exists.
The Cons block
Yeah.
is the one that we're going to be working with soon for Tarkir.
Yep.
That was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So that story, I should say, kicked off like 10 years ago. He was a villain before then. He was one of the OG Elder Dragons as printed for EDH.
Mm-hmm.
But his thing is he ends up essentially dying for the resistance against the Phyrexians, becoming Phyrexian. But then Tamio, if I remember, gives up her life to undo his Phyrexian nature, which doesn't happen otherwise.
Gotcha.
So we're talking he's an ally in the first movie, and he has become villain in not the first movie, the first arc.
Gotcha.
He becomes a villain in the second arc, all to be undone and remade, and the story hasn't really progressed much further from that with him, at least.
Because we've kind of jumped to
But it
side
needs a guy
stories.
I think he also needs to play the villain, and that's why Toby Kebbell. We know he plays what are they, orcs?
Yeah,
Plays the orcs well. The orcs, both good guys and bad guys at the same time.
that's true.
I think we got to mark it.
Okay.
I think I also
Put it on
Here's
Toby.
another thing. What's
Yep.
the last thing you saw him in? Exactly. He needs to be a top of mind actor.
That's
this
true.
guy needs to be working. We need to get him that fucking Hasbro paycheck.
Was he in a Black Mirror? Was that the last thing?
I mean, he was in a Black Mirror in like 2015.
Oh, I'm just saying.
It was episode 4.
I'm just
For
saying.
season
Did you
1.
have something else?
I think he was in Warcraft after that.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Warcraft's after 2015? I thought it was a 2013 movie.
It could have been. I don't know.
But we now know it's the
watch it until
beginning.
2019. Yeah.
What was it?
2016.
Oh, really?
For
Wow.
War- for
I thought it
Warcraft.
was older. No, actually,
and-
that makes sense. I was,
Black Mirror 2011.
okay.
So he was in it in 2011.
Dang. Okay.
So-
What was after?
So
what else has he
all
done?
I'm
What
saying
else has he done?
is-
Scroll down real
Exactly.
quick.
Looks like he was in one of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
He's
Oh,
got
he played-
5 things
He
upcoming.
played
Though.
Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four, the Miles Teller one.
He might be back.
That
then.
poor guy. So looking recently, I guess Servant, but that ended in 23. And then For All Mankind.
Yeah, let's
still
make him a
going on,
Johnny.
but He
That'd
needs
be
to
great.
happen. He's in a Johnny. I got him marked down already.
All right. I think, unfortunately, we're. Oh no, we obviously Gideon.
Oh, Gideon, dude. Gideon's a tough one.
It's funny. I look at that, not the right size, but I see his face from this distance, and I go, "Is that Viggo Mortensen? Or not Viggo Mortensen? Is that Hugo Weaving with the hair and all that? Is very the very pointed face.
I can see that. The Elrond.
Yeah, the Elrond. Yeah, very much like that. Oh, man. Who? Oh, man. Because I feel like, as we always talk about, obviously it's drawing, the characters won't match 100% stuff, but I feel like because he's a big hero, somebody set up to essentially die, I still want him to have that size, that bulk. Not saying people can't bulk up for it, but I feel like there's some people like Glenn Powell, I don't think has that size.
Oh, but he could, dude. That guy's fucking fit.
Or he's fit, he can't put on bulk, you know?
Well, Hollywood genetics.
Hollywood genetics,
Kumail
yeah.
Nanjiani can do what this guy can do. It.
That's fair. Ooh, Kumail. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. What? You know what I don't. Because in my head, we were talking about like Ian McShane, like we're having like the older actors play, but we're also thinking in the future we might need actors that are on the verge of being old.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to think of like name actors, and I'm like, who would they want to pull for somebody in this series? And then I'm trying to think of who is young enough right now in like a show or something that I've seen that I'm like, oh, we haven't heard from him in a few years, but he could come back and be this hero. And I'm coming up real blank. I thought talking through it would land me on something, but I just really don't.
I see the logic. He
Oscar Isaac?
So funny, he came to mind.
Oh, really?
He
Interesting.
came to my mind too, and then you immediately said bulk. And I was
Yeah.
like, maybe not. But you know why? Because I was like, I think this is where we could still be pushing some younger blood, you know? Because then people think, oh, he's the age of this group. This group is going to keep going forward. Oh, shit, he died.
Yeah.
And my thought went to Jacob Elordi. I think Jacob Elordi, Austin Butler live in the same spot in my mind. Of like,
Who's Jacob?
he's from Euphoria. He just played Elvis in the Baz Luhrmann. No, that was Austin Butler.
No, I was gonna say no. That was on. Yeah.
He played Elvis in the Priscilla.
Queen of the Desert.
No, just Priscilla. You asshole.
Okay, sorry.
The Sofia Coppola one.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
He's in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. He's playing the monster.
Oh.
And then I was like, well, who's Frankenstein? And then let me keep. I'm trying to connect to actors. Oscar Isaac.
Yep.
Was the Frankenstein. So that's how I got there.
Now, he hasn't played a hero with his bulk as of yet that I know of. But what about? Oh my God, I had it. It's
Ethan Suplee.
Nope. Hold on.
Oh.
God dang it! I'm such an idiot.
Come on, just give me anything he's been in, dude.
He was in. Hey, what up, Flamed? He was in the fucking movie that was a remake of the horror movie with the family that makes it all awkward.
With the family
Speak
that
No
makes it
Evil.
awkward. Oh, James McAvoy.
James McAvoy. He hasn't used that bulk for good yet. He's always been a villain with the bulk. But what if we make him a good guy with the bulk?
James, I think you went a little too bulky. Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista is a little too bulky. Well,
like
he's actually he
inhumanly
trimmed
bulk.
a lot recently. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I
he's
have.
really slimmed.
I have.
Wow. I'm just saying, James
That's
McAvoy,
funny.
he's got that bulk. He was in it for Split and whatnot, and then he did use it for the Speak No Evil. But I'm like, we haven't seen him use that bulk for good.
For good.
And I'm like, he can play both sides. He's a good villain, but he's for a long time I thought he was always seen as like a good guy. You know?
No, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm gonna leave you to decide. I can't
Shit.
decide.
That's a lot of pressure, dude. I know. This is like a linchpin of the story.
I know.
Wow.
I know. But I'm stuck.
We're producing right now. We're whatever company was it? Hasbro and Lion? No. That was a different
Legendary.
one. Legendary.
Legendary's doing it.
We're sitting here. We just went through all the cast, or not all the casting, but we have the opportunity to pick up the phone. Whoever picks up the phone, they'll say yes. We just have to figure out what number to put in, and you're putting that on me. Whoo!
Oh man.
Blaine, thank you so much for the sub. That's a lot. That's a lot. What
When you-
phone number am I dialing?
When you put it that way, it does make it a bit
It's
heavier.
tough,
I guess,
right?
But
James McAvoy at the peak of his bulk is the size of this dude's forearm.
to be fair, this guy's all forearm. Look at the weird blade.
Yeah,
shit
he's
got coming out of
fucking
him.
Gears of War themed. Like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But James McAvoy's pretty fucking big.
He's pretty fucking big at 5'7".
Yeah, but height doesn't matter.
It's John
Size, height doesn't matter in Hollywood. It's never held Tom Cruise back, you know?
Tom Cruise didn't hold Tom Hardy back.
Yeah. I don't think Tom Hardy.
Well, no, me neither.
I considered it for a second, but yeah, I don't think so.
The Batman height was pretty drastic.
Is this where Ben Affleck goes in?
See, that someone said it. Someone mentioned the Ben Affleck of it all, the Ben Affleck height.
Dude, the Ben Affleck Matt Damon commercials for the Super Bowl were great.
They were fun. They were fun.
Man.
But I think like you see Ben Affleck and you're like, yeah, he can die.
Yeah. Gideon in my head is like the hero of magic, right? He doesn't like go bad. He never has a bad he's just like
right. Teferi's still alive and keeps being the hero, and not Chandra's being the hero and stuff.
But he's like the soldier. He's like he was the good soldier. He did the job. It just didn't pan out for him. Yeah. But he always fought the good fight.
He stayed good.
And I feel like that's a backpack to carry. And who do we give that backpack to that we trust is tough. I'm trying to think of recent movies. People have done stuff. Younger actors. People that have been given a shot. Maybe haven't been able to spread their full wings out. This is going to be the big chance. Then they go, gone. Maybe we come
How's
back.
that working out?
It's not going well. Maybe we come back. Maybe we go to other. Let's come back. Let's come back. No, I think the other pictures don't work.
Yeah, that was everybody else. So okay, so now you're out of the full screen. Does it work now? Oh,
no, they do. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Ooh.
Too far. All right, so we're back up to Jace.
We got Jace.
Now Jace, he's the good boy that goes bad.
James says Adam Driver. Interesting.
Probably not for Jace. For Gideon.
What did you say? He's a good guy that goes bad?
Yeah. So of course he was like the loner. What?
It's like, what's the stupid warning?
Oh, I don't know. He's
I'm on the wrong freaking screen.
he's the loner who comes along and offers the help and is very magically influenced, and
he's the Mystigan.
Sure, okay. I hear that. But he ends up becoming bad via Vraska, who I didn't write down, but she's the serpent head, the Gorgon of sorts, and he becomes Phyrexianized. He becomes one.
Jacob Elordi. That makes sense because he's got that weird edge in Euphoria where he's not really a good guy, right?
Oh, he's a bad guy in Euphoria.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but he presents himself forward as the perfect guy,
the football
but he's the
superstar kind of thing. Yeah.
Which
I
that works.
Jacob Elordi here.
I like that.
I like it. Legendary and Timothée Chalamet do have a good good working relationship.
That's true. I feel like
what about Will Poulter?
I feel like after doing Dune, Timothy's going to do a lot of like artsy stuff for a while.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
probably.
Especially because he's still got one more Dune to go. He's probably going to be like, I want to go do fucking Bob Dylan's shit.
Like, no.
Yeah, or he's going to open up a farm of some sort and take a break from acting or something.
That's cool.
He did carry a Beyblade out onto a red carpet one time, so he's a real one.
Wow.
I think
I can see Jacob Elordi.
I
think that's some star power.
Yep.
I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. Now I gotta find the other ones that were skipped.
Mishra. Oh, Jaya. Jaya, the old wise teacher, the one who can manage the flame. She also dies. She dies later. She doesn't die to Nicol Bolas. She's the Carrie Fisher. Like, maybe you should have died here in this movie, but we drug you along for just a little too far.
Speaking of Borderlands, there's someone that comes to mind. It cannot be anyone else. Toni Collette.
Ooh, Toni Collette. Oh, the movie Beautiful Boy is great with Timothée Chalamet.
There's your Cate Blanchett.
Yeah. Toni Collette is good. But she's she old enough.
What age? I mean,
I think it's Tony with an I.
Oh, is it? Actors and actresses don't really follow the same rules. But what's your age that you're like, this is who it would be?
I don't know. I mean, she's a sort of human. She's not like a mystic that lives for hundreds of years or something. So,
I mean, she was born in 1972.
Sure. I think Toni Collette would look great in a gray or silver hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what's her face that's playing the Doctor in One Piece season 2 could also be good.
Jamie Lee.
No,
I was to say we're bringing it back to Borderlands again.
Katie Siegel.
Kate Siegel.
Is it Kate? Katie, Sagal. Is it Siegel?
Sagel?
No, Sagal.
Sagal. Yeah.
I was like, that's not. Well, it's not Steven Seagal.
Well, it's because Kate Siegel's the Mike Flanagan's wife.
Gotcha.
That's why I was like, really?
I don't know.
Charlie Hunnam could be a good Gideon.
Charlie Hunnam would be a good Gideon.
I'll mark it.
Put Charlie Hunnam. Yeah. Katie Seagal. Depending on, I think, I don't know the edge that this character has, or how active she is / grandmotherly / like I'm still can throw down.
Yeah.
But Katie Seagal's got that like I'm old, but I could still kick your ass into the ground kind of mentality. So.
What else is she in?
She's in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. That makes sense. Why I was like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah.
Ooh, Rebecca Ferguson's a fun call. She's got a relationship with Legendary.
God, she was in something else that I saw recently, but it's not coming up.
I do like Rebecca Ferguson. I don't know if I'm almost thinking older. Want a bigger gap between these people.
Okay, Rebecca. Okay.
Surprised you're typing so many of these names in.
Well, it's like as soon as I see her, I go, oh yeah, but I don't know. I kind of gave up on following
that's fine.
names.
Whatever. I think this person is older than both.
Okay. I mean, the Y is the character that she's playing in One Piece. Dr. Kureha.
I say you're gonna pull up Dr. Kureha for me.
Yeah, that's why. Oh God, how do you spell?
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, and I fat fingered J.
I'm looking through.
Like that's the character she's going to be playing.
Oh, so you're just saying the silver hair?
The silver hair. She's not in the fight anymore, but she's still pulling for everybody. But she was badass at one time. She trains Chopper. Come on.
She trains Chopper, and he does so well.
He does great.
I got to take your word for it. I couldn't tell you.
But that's what I'm seeing from this character.
I can give you that one.
Doctor into the
I don't know what's
arts.
her name?
Katie Sagal.
Sagal. That's Mishra.
That would be an interesting cast. We didn't even think about changing genders.
Like gender switch?
Yeah. All right.
We're not that creative. Elspeth. Now, Elspeth is the one who, if I had to say there's a Galactus killer.
Oh, okay.
Because
the Captain Marvel?
She doesn't have anything to do with Nicol Bolas.
Gotcha.
But she does have to do with she's first blessed by and then smited by Heliod, a god in her plane, Theros. But then she ascends and she becomes a planeswalker. She's gifted the Shadow Spear, which is the Heliod's.
Is it just supposed to look like that, or did it just go through something?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, cool.
But she ends up getting smited herself.
Oh, no.
Returns as a planeswalker.
Oh, okay.
Then she gives herself up to save somebody during the Dominaria fight. And that's a fight that sends her to exile, we'll say.
Okay.
She's gone.
The spot you can't come back from unless the card lets you come back from.
Yes, of course.
Yep.
Well, guess where she came back from?
Exile.
She came back from as an angel planeswalker.
Ooh, that's cool. Does she have wings?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you the card. I can't. To everybody else.
I just felt like this was probably the character this is the version of her we're gonna see first and foremost before all of what you're talking about.
It's not resplendent.
Okay.
But she is the one who essentially lands the sort of final strike. Using the Luxior, the thing that makes a planeswalker into a creature, the equipment that you give her. She makes fancy blades, and then she gets a different blade. I think it's from Teferi, if I remember. Teferi gives him the way to cut through portals. So kind of like a magic sword, like magic with a K.
The headband is screaming Wonder Woman to me.
Yeah, it's pretty Diana. I mean, especially because that one, has the Athenian sort of Greek theme to it. The whole thing here is that it's like the Greek gods is her plane. It's the story, the enchantment gods. But it's funny because thinking of her in maybe this kind of art style, I was thinking maybe Haley Steinfeld would be good for this. Because I think Haley Steinfeld's got the kind of chops where you plant her early and she lands the final kill way down the line. I could see that being something.
Aria.
The Aria. Yeah, exactly. She has the same Aria function. Obviously, Aria, an actual child, but because she's a badass from the rip.
James says could be.
Damn, this is a great Daphne.
Could be a Daphne King. I was gonna say.
I'm gonna mark because we
I
had
feel
her
like
somewhere else.
She was with. Oh no, she wasn't. She was on Chandra. I thought she was with Haley Steinfeld. I was like, we could flip flop those two.
No, I think Daphne Keene is a fun one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nice.
I like that a lot. That was a good call. Good call, James.
Good job. We have Mishra left.
We have Mishra.
This is the one that was real pain to find a picture for.
Yeah. This is where I said maybe Ben Affleck.
And who's his brother? Who did we choose for his brother?
Oh, Patrick Wilson. Yeah,
Patrick Wilson, Ben Affleck.
So who's the there's only one brother companion to Patrick Wilson I care to name. Jason Momoa.
That would be cool. I don't.
So this is a brother that is good, but essentially becomes corrupted.
This could be Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
that was a long pause.
That was me really thinking.
Yeah,
I was
really
like, is
thinking.
he older? Is he younger? I don't really know how the age and that.
I feel like
that all works, but
ATJ you could swing with age. Like he could look younger, but I felt like it's like he looked younger in Craven than he did in Bullet Train because they put costuming and the mustache and all that. It looked like they tried to age him up in Bullet Train to kind of go like, hey, Brad Pitt's not that much older, guys. Let's try to bring it closer together. So
yeah.
And maybe it's because also he's got the V-neck shirt and all that stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
ATJ's got what's to
now
fit.
we're just talking chest. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's how I cast my characters, based on their chest.
Chest only?
Yeah, chest only.
Oops, all chest?
Everything else can be changed, but the chest,
yeah,
we need that key.
I hear you. Pulling off a haircut like that, though, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
I mean, that haircut hasn't been pulled off in like
30 years.
Yeah, I was going to say 20-something years, 30 years. I think the last one to pull it off was maybe Leo in Titanic.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking from Scream.
Ooh, yeah, Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the actor's name.
Oddly enough, in my head, as soon as I said that, I went, no, actually, it looks like...
But that was earlier. So.
In Scream 2, the actor that plays Billy Loomis in the fake movie that's on TV, he goes, oh, stupid. He's got like the long hair with the drips and it's black and all that. I'm like, that actually was what reminded me of. So it's funny you went with Skeet too. But yeah.
It's also got some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh peaks going on with the sharp on the top.
Yep. This could also be a cool Carl Urban too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Carl Urban, I think, could be like you see him, he could be good, he could be noble or whatever, and then he could easily go the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think
The Boys has kind of almost like it's corrupted his character, like as a visual thing. You're like, oh, this guy is more of like he's not a villain in The Boys per se, especially comparatively. But you're like, it wouldn't be a surprise that he gives up anything for the Might Stone, the Weak Stone.
And we're supposed to think it's supposed to be a surprise that he gives it up.
That he gives up his self to become part of the Phyrexians. Like he's over ambitious.
Gotcha.
He takes too much that it goes too deep into.
So we maybe need someone that's looking almost too good on paper.
Someone who you're like, oh, him and Patrick Wilson, they're buddy, but Patrick Wilson, you're like, oh, I don't expect him to turn bad, but he kind of does in the end. But this one, you're like, he goes bad, but it's kind of expected. But at the end, you're like, maybe this was the right choice, or it's
gotcha.
A little back and forth,
a little flip flop of motives and where you land on which side and stuff. I mean, I love Ben Affleck, but seeing him in that Dunkin' Donuts commercial, I was like, I don't know if he's got the stuff to play all the ages that we need.
He's got the stuff. That's great. Okay.
How old is Patrick Wilson? Well, we're trying to like.
Oh, we're just trying. You want just
like
an
somewhere
age.
around the ballpark at least.
Patrick Wilson,
because he's also, I feel like he looks younger than he actually
is. Where did
is.
they put his date on here? I don't recall. 1973.
I was going to say
52. Well, going to be 52.
Yeah, in my head, I think he looks younger than 52. No matter when I see him, if he's on a red carpet or in a movie, it's not like the makeup's helping him. It's just like you look at him anywhere, he looks younger than his age. So I feel like that's where we could stretch it downward a little bit to reach.
It's tough because of the age, like the way that also the progression into this is like not a quick one, from what I understand. Like again, you see Urza at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you age it up? But I'm like, maybe if you cleaned him up just a little Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, A-list actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I like it. I like that a lot, actually. That would be my choice. I'm going with that.
That'd be your choice.
Yeah. Him facing off against.
It's funny because
we get a Watchmen reunion.
It's funny because I'm almost thinking. Well, so I saw Patrick Wilson's Watchmen next to his age. I was like,
okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
But what if we were to switch him and Urza? Him and Patrick, like with Urza or whatever. Patrick, I see not pulling off this haircut the same way Jeffrey Dean do.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, if you're going to do that, then another tie. What about Jared Padalecki here?
I guess, you know what? His hair might be the most recent of that. James Aaron Johnson, we did bring that up. I threw that out there because of Bullet Train and stuff like that. But I'm really liking the Jeffrey D. Morgan. But you're thinking more for Urza. Interesting.
No, I was asking like, what if we switch? But I don't think that's the right call.
No, I
think he's better here.
Yeah. Because I'm guessing Mishra loses in the end.
Yes.
I feel like.
Well, arguably, because it doesn't end with him.
Right.
It keeps going, but I think he himself, his effort is a loss.
Right. I think Jeffrey D. Morgan is a good choice.
Well, then we just have to decide with our Chandra now.
Okay, what are the two we had?
We have Karen Gillan and Julia Gardner.
I think
now that we've seen who else we have cast, who do you got? Who do you got with it? And it doesn't have to be from these two. Can you think of another one? Can you think of a third? A third? Oh, I got hit with a wave.
I think after the now that we've got like kind of ages picked out for a lot of the key hitters and stuff like that, I'm leading more Julia. I believe. Yeah, I would lean Julia. Out of those two, leaning Julia, run through my head. Is there anyone else I want to throw in the ring?
I'm going to just do... look at some of these nominees for actors, actresses, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll throw it out again because I said her before, but I think Margaret Qualley would do well.
I feel like I'm just running in the same circles in my head every time, and I keep running with the six names or whatever.
I know. It's tough to just pick from like actual thin air.
Yeah. Yeah, we need their agents to send us the pages so we can have a list to pick from, you know. It's just like anybody. It's like, whew, that's tough. I guess that's why people get paid to do this, right?
Mikey Madison.
What was she in?
Honora is what her
I know. What else?
Thing is
Because I don't know Honora at all.
God, I think she was in like Blockers or something too.
Oh, okay.
But I think she was comedy. So, Mikey Madison could be a good call. Oh yeah, she was the killer in this one.
Oh no!
Hey, come on,
Deleted.
That's not her fault.
Deleted.
That's not her fault.
She's out.
She wasn't the bad there.
Well,
listen. All right, we're going Julia Gardner.
Yep, Julia Gardner.
All right, you couldn't think of anything else.
Nope.
We're locking it in. Just Dragon. That's interesting. Never seen that before.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to run it down.
All right. Cool. So here is our casting, our pop tab casting of the Magic the Gathering movie. Let me get the main screen back up.
Oh, I thought you were going to tie it to their photos again.
Oh yeah,
for everyone to see. Get the cast list listed all together.
All right. So
from the top.
From the top. Oh, there's a lot more people than I thought. So we got Chandra as Julia Gardner.
I think you said that a little backwards. That's fine.
What'd I say?
You said Chandra
as Julia. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. We have Haley Steinfeld as Liliana. We've got Palm Clementif. Is that it? Clementif? As Nissa. We have Jacob Elordi. Why did you make me say all the names? Jacob Elordi as Jace.
We have Jacob Elordi as Jace.
Thank you.
Jeremy Irons
yeah.
as Nicol Bolas.
Perfect casting.
Pierce Brosnan as Ugin here.
I like that casting too.
For the brothers, Patrick Wilson as Urza.
I love that cast. You know what? I didn't even think about it, but it looks like he's standing on a ship with water raining down around him right there. It's like it was made for it. It's crazy.
Womp, womp, womp. And then for Teferi, we have Yahya Abdul-Mateen. That's still, I think, the best cast.
So good.
I think that's a really good one. Fits his character well. For Garrick, we have Nathan Jones, just to get a old boy.
Big boy.
Big old boy in there.
And like you said,
and martial arts capable.
He might not
ready.
play a huge part in the big overarching thing.
Right. He might be a sub thing. He might be whatever. For Jaya Ballard, we have Katie Seagal.
Yep.
From Sons of Anarchy, apparently.
Yep.
Soon to be One Piece. For Elspeth, James coming in with this one with Daphne Keene. That's a huge pull.
Bringing her back from early conversations, but I think definitely fits better best here.
But we'd call her anyway.
I think they recently talked about having her possibly be the new Wolverine in MCU.
Well, they talked about it. Did she talk about it?
I
don't know.
I think she got. I don't remember what I was reading because it's all crap.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah.
As Soren Markov here, we have Tom Hiddleston.
Yep, with the Jared Leto backup.
That's not true.
Not true.
That's not true. For a Johnny, we have Toby Kebbell. We need to see that man work, and we know he can rock the big bod.
Yep, that's going to be an exciting one.
That's going to be
an exciting one for you as we're announcing this like at Hall H or whatever. That's going to be an exciting one to see him back out there. You're going to really like this one.
Toby Kebbell.
That's going to be really exciting. People are going to question it. There's going to be a lot of conversations and a lot of other podcasts, but in the end, it's going to be the right choice. That's what it's going to be.
Always. As Gideon, we have Charlie Hunnam.
Which we never went back to afterwards.
I don't know how we got there, but I'm happy.
But I like it.
I'm
happy
we did.
Charlie definitely is. He plays a hero really well.
Yeah, and enough people who hate him are like, well, I got good news for you.
Yep.
He's going to die.
Exactly.
So. And then to finish out the brothers with Urza, we have Mishra, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Where did my thing go?
That's the end of the slideshow.
Oh, do we have any more names?
No.
Oh, I don't know why I thought we had more.
We did it.
Look at that.
Is there a Phyrexian you want to name?
That I want to name? Just a Phyrexian?
Is there an actor or actress you think we're missing somebody?
One of the people or one of the characters that I was like, oh, I'm surprised it wasn't on the list because I hear her brought up all the time.
Who's voice in Loot?
I was thinking Elish Norn. I hear Elish Norn, mommy brought up all the time, and that wasn't a character.
Well, because she's the one who essentially ends up managing all the Phyrexians as the mother of machines. Gix is like the father of it. He's dead. He's long gone. Pre-Mishra, from what I understand.
Gotcha.
The Phyrexians are in motion. Praetors exist.
So
Elish Norn is the one who gets smote by Elspeth.
I feel like that's enough. That will be a big casting. Now, I feel like depending on how the movies and series are going, depends on the level of casting we get for Elish Norn when we get there.
Oh, like how are these doing?
Yeah.
See who do we get?
If it's like blowing up, who are we grabbing?
That's the card. That's the story
Sick.
beat. So who's catching it? But also, that's probably a voice. That's probably
it's less casting.
So, there you have it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking everyone else I think are big giant creatures. So.
Yeah, it's funny though because we talked about this in relation to Pokemon, right? Or how we just think that Magic they don't have anything but the card game.
Yep.
Where Pokemon has shows, books, video games, the card game,
everything,
a different digital card game, video game that feels like the card game but is not the same. And then you've got plushies and ornaments and Lego type things like nanoblocks or whatever.
Yep.
You've got name a thing. There's a Pokemon version of it.
1,000%.
The Squishables. There's Pokemon headphones and it's all there.
Everywhere.
Keychains and Pokemon Go. Magic has the card game.
Yep.
Once you go to the cons, they do have some merch. They've got T-shirts, bags, wallets, dice.
There is some plushes.
I'm not going to call card accessories because that's all Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it's if you common denominator all of it, Pokemon has 1,000 times more products than Magic. We've talked about it's crazy that Magic doesn't have a movie, more books now, a video game, which they did try, I guess, but it died before it ever started. Rip.
Yeah. Whoops.
TV show, animation, all that. But the thing that I wish, I'm happy we're getting the movie and getting the show. I really do wish instead, though, that what we were getting is the other accoutrement. The stuff that's I want magic. I wish I could have, with Pokemon, I could have a magic blanket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have a magic mouse pad. I mean, I guess they sell mouse pads and play mats. But
and I was going to say they exist, but they're not.
They're third.
Yeah, they're third party. They're other people.
And it's there's no, let me go to Pokemon.com and they're going to, here's the new winter collection. Here's the new horror collection. Here's fun pins and badges and whatever. It's you're going to go to a MagicCon and be able to buy some stuff, but you have to physically be at a MagicCon. You can't order it online. And they have a lot of cool shit. But it's man, I really wish that I could have more Magic in my life the way Pokemon does. I don't actually need it in my life more because it's already like literally running my life.
Yeah.
But it's to say that when I was just a fan, to get more people involved in it, it's like because you can have a Pokemon toaster. You know what I mean? You can be a Pokemon fan throughout your whole life in every aspect. And then you go, oh, Pokemon Sleep is an app? Let me download it. Oh, Pokemon, and
That's
you're
the thing
you're
is,
in the
like,
world. And now Pokemon is so perforated through everything, it's not ever going to be pulled away.
Yeah, it's like
Magic is still like on shaky ground with everybody.
It's like if I were trying to get Bethany into something and she's like, I just don't like card games. I go, cool. Well, Matt, you're out of Magic. That's it. I don't have another in for you, but I'm like, you might like the Pokemon video game because it's not a card game. It's more about this and that. Or oh, you don't like that? You might like Go
the
because you want
cartoon
to
first. I'm willing to try the video game now.
Yeah.
Oh, I like all these. Now that I have favorite Pokemon, I have this. How can I put those in a card game? How can I? But it's like, if I really love Jace, then what? Nothing.
Congrats. Make sure you get all the cards with him on there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we did it.
We made it.
Legendary will take our 2% whenever you get around to it.
I'll take less than that.
That's true.
2% is a big number.
2% is a big number. I tried to go low, but I'll take our 0.02%. How about that?
Yeah.
Or 0.02% when you get around to it and you realize that we just made the perfect cast for the Magic movie. And we didn't even have to use Jack Black.
We're saving
We
him.
could.
Elish Norn.
Oh. But yeah, so that was our casting for the Magic movie. That's our show for today. We ran a little long, but that used to be our standard. So really, we're just getting back to form. Stokes, did you have anything else for today?
No.
Then I'm going to sign off as we always do and say sweet dreams, and we'll see you for breakfast.